Hello.
To somebody. Somebody might be there.
Yes,
Josh is
Josh
there.
is always here and he's always free.
Yes, he's
So,
free.
hey, free Josh. Good to see you. Good to see everyone that
Mm-hmm.
is in the room. We got Kay Munin is
Kate Munin is there.
joining us tonight. Hey, Kay Munin. Hope y'all had a very, very uneventful week. That your week was boring and very slow with not too much of anything going on. That's always the best way to go because
Nothing deconstructive.
yes, because a lot of times you got a lot going on and it can cause your week to go downhill
Agenda.
fast.
You get it, the agenda. You remember agenda?
Yeah, you talked about that, I think,
Agita.
last week. Hey, William
William
Randall,
Randall is there.
how are you?
That's right.
So,
Somebody knew what I was talking about.
yeah, they did. It's
They did.
something Italian phrase or whatever.
Yes, for
I think they said,
heartburn.
oh yeah,
Basically, it's
heartburn.
heartburn. It's like, oh, you're giving me the agita.
But yeah, our week was very slow and
Yeah, watch that
uneventful.
table. That's
Nice
why I
and
moved it.
nice
You keep
and
bumping it.
boring, which is good
It
because
can be.
nothing was going on.
You don't need all that drama. I
No,
don't
you
care.
don't need
I
drama
don't
in your
care
life.
what the Kardashians got away with. Nerd 101 is there.
Hey, nerdy, how you doing?
I mean, people watch that stuff, but do you really want to live like that?
Nobody's life is that drama
It's
filled.
drama filled. It's
Um,
reality television.
you watch these reality
It
shows.
implies real.
No,
I
no.
know none of it's real. It's
I
all
mean, and
a
then
load of
if your
crap.
life was that drama filled, would you really be happy? Would you really be like, man, I have the best life ever? Every second is filled with drama.
But they're making a lot of money.
Yeah, they're making a lot of money, but it's created drama. It's
Yes, that's
created
true.
everything is created. Your whole life is fake. When do you know what's real?
All of those shows, like you were watching that home, she was telling me, I didn't see it, but she was watching that home show, and she said that they faked a fire on the show because you could see that the fire was actually being CGI generated. And I'm like, CGI fire on one of the home improvement shows? Seriously?
Hey,
Oh,
Valeron from
and
Spain.
Valeron from Spain.
How are you doing? No, Wham Randall, we did not buy that old nasty
No,
candy. And
there was,
yes,
if you saw, I did a couple of shorts because we were out and about today,
yes.
and we were in an antique shop, and someone had, you know how like they used to once upon a time, this is before most people's times, where the countertop display in a
Mm,
store would have jars, and you reach in there and get a handful of something and put it in a little bag, and they weigh it. And this one was still sealed, and it had those little
those soft
those
mitts.
soft mints in it from like 1952 or something, and they're still in there. It was never opened. They looked kind of wonky,
But they were
and
instead of red, they were like faded pink.
pinkish, yeah, because they swelled. Moisture must have gotten into there, and it's like, whoa. But I mean, you never find that stuff sealed.
No.
But would I still want to keep it sealed? I don't know. I guess there's some history there, but
Yeah.
I did a short of that. I also they and came in and alluded to did a short of the starting lineups. No, I didn't buy any of those,
Mm-mm.
and that's an amazing fall from grace. It was a mistake on the part of Hasbro to do those starting lineup figures because I think the original retail, if I remember correctly, was 55. Is that right?
Really? That does sound
Because of
familiar.
all the licensing, and they're not really starting lineup figures. The starting lineups were figurines
Mm-hmm.
in on a card with a little baseball card or basketball card or whatever.
Yes.
But these were basically Legends figures in a box. They were like $55, and you could only buy them online, which meant tax and shipping. So how much are you really paying? 65, damn near 70 for these things? For them to land at Ollie's for $7.99 a piece, and it looks like they had the whole wave.
Yeah, they had a
And
lot.
that's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that Ollie's. I mean, they had so many Marvel Legends, and they had, of course, Eternals, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, stuff like that. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
William Randall week was exciting. Lots of
Uh-huh.
Haitians at his job gifted him a homemade chicken
Pie.
pie with really good deep fry. I don't think I ever had chicken. I had pot pie.
Mrs. Smith's.
Yeah, the
and,
the
and Raynard says he loves the weekly
chats.
chats. It's time well spent.
No, thank
Much
you, Raynard.
appreciated. And Munin says the candies look like they were covered with mold or some of the furry side. They just expanded with moisture, basically. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to eat one.
Hey, Christina.
It says,
Chat,
hey to everyone.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Christina.
But
how
yeah,
are
that's
you?
not something. I mean, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It is. It's fascinating, especially if you collect those kinds of like storefront pieces, that countertop kind of stuff.
Hey, David.
He says, missed the weekly roundup, playing with Motu figures, been getting great deals for them. I bet. Got the Extendar. Love that figure. Amazing and fun. Yeah, you probably got it at Ollie's.
Yeah. And the antique mall that we were at is actually a nice one. And it's so weird. We haven't been to that particular mall, but one other time,
Yes.
it was more than a year ago. And they have a Raggedy Ann and Andy.
It's like a rocking horse.
Yeah. And it was there when we were there the last time, like I said, like a year ago, and it's still there.
It's placed at a spot that's so high.
Yeah.
And it's behind rows of jars and stuff. Nobody wants to touch it to see how much it is.
No, you can't see you can't see the price.
Yeah.
And then, of course, is in an antique mall, so you would have to call a person over to help you take it down. There's a bunch of women. They're not going to take
and
that.
And then when they
down.
Get it down, you're like, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Like that. And then you get the evil eye.
Not like, unless they bastard. Just know the price, because they've done that before and they got it written down. They're like, oh no, that's $89 or something.
Because you know how like you want to open the case at the antique mall. Can I look at this? And then they come and they unlock the case.
And they always roll in their eyes. Say no, you're not gonna buy nothing because everything in that case is too much.
They're standing there looking at you like, come on. Or if it's a stack of comics and you're going through each one at a time like this, and they're like,
or if you're like David, you go through each one at a time, and then you pick up your phone and you look it up on eBay.
And then they start jingling the keys while they're standing there. That's what they do. We found some stuff there, though. We had a little fun.
Yeah, we had some fun. Oh, they had that record player. I think David put up the short.
Oh, I did. I put this short.
With the record player. Oh,
it's a
God,
60s record player. All white cabinets with white speakers, and they were square but rounded edges. And it had the dome over the top and built-in 8-track. Oh,
let me show you.
William got trucker hats in the mail.
Yeah, look at this.
Watch this. We're not
trying to show you up.
We see your trucker hat and we raise you. Trucker trash cans that she got from the 70s.
Let me move this out of the way.
See, Sloppy Joe means state police. Smoky on rubber means policeman is moving. Bear trap means radar. Hump means mountain, and so on. There you go. Back off the hammer means to slow down. Black water means coffee. And in those days, yeah, that was coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But this is so, and we've talked about this before. If you're into like lunch boxes and you can't afford them, stuff like this is a great alternative, because these fly under the radar. There's very few of these old trash cans that are real expensive, like the Village People one.
Yeah,
you rarely ever see Village People. It might go for $200 or $300.
Yeah, or Jason the Wheel Warriors.
That's another one that might get a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, these are pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
And then this is another one.
That one is fantastic.
Yeah, and you got the guy on the driving a truck with the CB in his hand. And I was a truck driver.
Yes.
And in this
here's
lifestyle,
the full breakdown.
It's gone. Nobody uses CBs anymore.
No.
Nobody does. And I remember
it's a piece of lost Americana.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
When they unionized all of that and made all those regulations and then made it so you had to get insurance for passengers and all that kind of stuff, they killed this entire genre.
Yeah.
The government killed it. But you know, still beautiful piece of Americana here.
Yeah. And my dad was also a truck driver
Yeah.
back. Oh, God, he started driving truck in the 80s. But I rode with him one time, and CBs were still a big thing. And like that's all you heard was people on the CBs calling out handles and talking to each other, or giving you a heads up that if you're on this interstate near this mile
Yeah.
marker is an accident up ahead or whatever. They gave out a lot of useful information. They also, just joked around and played around on the radio a lot.
Roscoe.
Yeah, something to keep them, I guess, alert and just looking out.
Yeah.
But nobody, well, I can say nobody, because when I was in training, it was one guy. He still had a CB, and I asked him, I was like, "Oh, you still use your CB?" He was like, "Yeah, I use it. It's only a few people, but you use it to say what's going on, because you might not have a phone."
Yeah.
That person's phone number, but they might have a radio and you can communicate. So I thought that was fun when I saw it, and I really wanted that because, again, my dad was a truck driver. I drove truck for a while,
Yeah.
and it was just something.
And this one in particular has got a great lithograph.
Oh, hold on, I'll get back to you, Cam.
This lithograph is fantastic.
Yeah, I like the truck.
This one is cool.
Yeah, it's just got the words on it.
And you see the traffic going there.
Yeah.
But the lithograph on this just really pops.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
K Munin was saying that those starting lineups went from 50 to 30 all the way down to $8.
Yeah.
It's quite a fall. And we talked about that when we first saw it, like, will that take off? Because in the beginning it didn't take off.
Yeah.
And you can find the originals for $1.
Yeah, I mean there are a handful of starting lineups, Kenners, that are valuable. Most of them are like a $1 or $2 at the dealer tables,
Yeah. Some dude on YouTube is finding Snakeman Origins at Ross.
Wow. It doesn't surprise me.
No.
And Paul said, missed the last couple of lives, had to rewatch. Good to see you
Good
guys.
to see you, Paul. Thank you for joining us and spending the night with us for this time and just enjoying each other's company and talking about nostalgia and just whatever comes to mind. That's what we do. That guys look like Owen Wilson. Hey, let's see. Severus is here.
Says, from Canada, loved the Joe Fest video tour. Looked like a great event.
It is.
It was fun.
Yeah, and it was a guy there from Canada. He was from Western Canada. He was talking to someone else that was with us at that time, and he was saying that he was from Canada because the guy that he was with was from, I can't remember where he was from, but I just remember like, golly, you came all the way from Western Canada to Atlanta. Well, not Atlanta, Augusta.
Yeah.
I got the Mega Man 11 model kit. Okay.
Sorry. Kaiser says.
Hey, Kaiser, how are you?
Yeah. And then George. Is that George? Yeah. George says, making me miss the 70s and 80s. Love your channel.
Thank you.
Well, we just, we're engrossed in the culture. We grew up in that time. It was a simpler time. And there's a lot of fond memories there, even though there may have been rough times. Munin says, went to GameStop yesterday, saw exclusive pops, literally $1.97, buy one, get one free, and they're still not selling.
No.
More pops on the way to the landfill.
Yeah, they aren't doing good. But every now and then, like on this week's roundup, we saw some that really hit the button. Like they're reissuing the strawberry shortcake. They're doing some more Masters of the Universe stuff. Every so often, they'll come up with something that I like for sure. Yeah. When I was buying pops heavy, I never got into, and y'all know the superheroes and stuff like that, Lord of the Ring, Game of Thrones, all of that stuff. I didn't get into that.
Those are real extensive lines.
Yeah, but the more of the TV shows and the cartoons is what drew me, in all of the nostalgia ones.
Oh, but back to the antique mall.
Oh, yeah, back to the antique mall. Did either of you have Lawson's Convenience? No, I know I didn't. I
didn't.
Oh, yeah, we found that for $1.
This was $1. It looks like it's a reworked goldfish or something. Like they rehammered it out. But yeah, this is $1. I mean, I'll take that for $1.
And those, these cake pans, sometimes they go for quite a bit.
It depends.
And sometimes you can find them at Goodwill and in the cooking section at Goodwill, Value Village, and other thrift stores. And this seller, he had like a box full, but this was the only like
character.
Yeah, character ones. He had some other ones like
a
stars
boy with a baseball
yeah,
bat, and,
stuff
whatever.
like that.
But this is
Hey Craig, how you
You
doing?
could use this as a mask.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, sure. Cut the eyes out.
Good to see you, Craig. And William says nice trash cans.
Yes, indeed. She also found this. This might look familiar. That's the strawberry shortcake like table lamp. This is a vintage one. And
it works.
You might have seen that in the Sears catalog and stuff like that. But yeah, it does still function. And it is original. Let me unravel that there.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to plug it in?
I guess so.
You could plug it in for real quick,
so everybody can see that it works. But yeah, this antique mall had quite a bit of nice stuff. They had a record player that I wanted, but it cost too much.
Yeah, I know. I would have loved to have gotten that dome one, but see if she.
I don't know if it's going. You got to squeeze it. Hold on, because that old plug don't fit. You need new things. You gotta squeeze.
You going the right way?
Yeah, I'm going the right way.
Okay. There it is. Oh, look at her. I know it's hard to tell because it's bright in here.
Yeah, but it does light up.
You can see the glow, the warm glow of strawberry shortcake. But yeah, when they did like the rooms, when they would do like you'd see the bed sheets and the dresser and all that oddball stuff. This is one of those things. She's always like a little spring.
Yeah.
That's just pretty cool. That's just pretty cool. I know she wanted that.
Okay. Severus had the Star Wars cake pan, many a childhood birthday with chocolate
R2D2. There you go.
Yeah, those was a thing because I remember I had a birthday
cake. And who does
cake.
that anymore? Now you just go grab something at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't do those anymore. Sometime if you go to a cake baker, an actual baker, they might do something and then they're going to want an arm and a leg for it. But, when I was a kid, it seemed like almost everybody had at least one. Antique Mall near me is getting a lot of toy comic vendors. I'm in good company. Yeah.
Says David there.
Yeah.
And this. And I'm going to be doing a showcase
Yeah, now
of
this was a find.
This is bizarre. Wow. And you never find this kind of stuff, okay?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian has joined us. Okay. And this is in the, how like some places they get like the free bin?
Yeah.
It's an original Woolworth newspaper flyer. Well, this one would be a mailer because there's an actual address stamped on there. But this is like what you would get in the Sunday paper, or sometimes the Wednesday edition would have these flyers. This is from May 1977, and it's complete.
Yeah.
It's complete. And it's just fascinating flipping through here and looking at the stuff that they have for sale. And
the prices is always fun to look at.
The prices are interesting too. And, it's a 25 pages, or 24 pages. All 47 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this would be, I think I'm going to do this as a showcase video.
Yeah, like you do the Christmas books.
Yeah. And, you can find the Christmas catalogs and stuff sometimes, like Sears, JCPenney, whoever. But this kind of stuff, nobody kept. This is all, this went in the trash with the newspaper.
Yeah,
so
you looked at it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wow, that's fantastic. There's not like a lot of toys or anything in here necessarily.
There's no toys in there.
Yeah, it's just a skateboard and, stuff like that. It's basic stuff. But mostly home goods, which is primarily what Woolworth did. I just think that's fascinating. It's the Mother's Day special. This is the Mother's Day special with the sale. I think it says in the center here, the sale will end on May 11th, 1977. Sale starts today, so you better get on it. You better get on it, folks. Like, wow, just it's just a real flashback
Yeah.
for a lot of people. I think it'd be fun to showcase this.
Yeah. K Muni says to think someone would get rid of a working vintage lamp like
I
that.
know, and look at it.
Yeah.
Come on. That's cool.
But you know, they do house clean outs, or you got a kid that's grown up and
Mhm.
they don't like, oh, they don't want that no more. You get rid of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I worked at Woolworth when I was younger
Nerd
on the
says.
toy department.
Yeah, and
Wow.
they've been gone since the 90s.
It's not disintegrated,
Yeah,
I know.
I know. I'm shocked that that's and nobody wanted nothing for it. And you can't find anything for this because I tried to, look it up, check it out on eBay, whatever. There's nothing for any year.
Because
You
it's a
know,
newspaper.
yeah,
Nobody keeps
people don't keep
newspapers.
that kind of stuff usually.
No.
But like I said, that's something you would find in the Sunday paper. I love this on the front. They've got the Texas Instrument calculator, and it's not, it's that LED display. So it's the red lights, and it's a 799 calculator. And I'm like, in the 70s, 799 when people were paying like $3,000 for a calculator. That's because it only does the basics.
Yeah.
It says adds, subtracts, multiplies, or divides.
That's all you
That's
get.
all you're gonna get. Because I know anything um, that did anything further than that was insanely expensive and big. You pay like 1, 2, $3,000 for
Yeah.
a fully functional calculator in the 70s.
And I remember when they came out with
Yeah,
scientific calculators, that was a big thing in the mid to late 80s and early 90s. That was a thing.
yeah.
Dale likes the Sears and JC Penney catalogs from the
And
60s and
I've done a
70s.
couple of those as showcases on the channel before too. Eric Peter is there.
Hey, Eric.
He said, "Did we watch the Magic Garden? He has fond memories of the two performers and the puppet characters. They did a live stage show. Saw them in Poughkeepsie, New York. Poughkeepsie. Did I pronounce that right?
I don't know.
I think I used to watch the Magic Garden.
I don't think I ever heard of the Magic Garden.
Oh, yeah." And William says he has stamped pages from Columbia Record Company and also from the
Yeah.
place that had movies.
We
BMG,
have one of those,
yeah,
don't we?
BMG music
Yeah.
or video. I've got the video one, and I've got the unused sticker sheet from that, and kept them. Always thought they were cool. He says.
Yeah. Yeah. We got one
Yeah,
not too long ago.
I was gonna frame it because it's an unbroken sticker sheet of VHS cassettes, I think. And Munin says they seen shows and documentaries where people keep stacks of old newspapers in their house. Yeah, that's called hoarders.
I don't know. I think
that's hoarders.
I think like collectors can be considered hoarders.
It
Like we
depends
can
on.
be considered hoarders.
Well, we're organized though. We're not like up to our waist and stuff, and we have a path through the house, and you have to kick the door 30 times to get it open, and then the fire marshal reports you.
I don't know. You can still be a clean hoarder.
Oh.
But if you just like kind of keep stuff, refuse to throw it away, you pick up something and like, no, I gotta keep that. No, I'm holding that
You
for
got
something.
jars full of toenail clippings, or like that woman with the pens on that one episode of Hoarders.
I can't laugh at that because I got a box full of pens.
Well, it wasn't like that. She had like 3 of those 55-gallon drums filled to the top with pens. And she was like, the woman's like, you can't possibly need this many pens. She was like, someone might need a pen.
You never know when you need a pen.
You never know. Someone might need a pen. It's like there's like 30,000 pens in here. Nobody needs that many pens. They probably don't even work anymore, because they'll dry up over time.
Yeah, because I got like a tote full of pens, and then you just pick up one, and then you're trying to write, and then mess up right. Then I'll throw it in the trash. I don't put it back. I will throw it in the trash.
You might could save it for an art project. Yeah, that's.
David is watching the 200X animated series. Yes, we've seen that.
Yeah,
we've seen it, and it is really good. It's well acted. Well, the voice acting is good. And explains and gives you a backstory to a lot of the characters. So that I really like about the show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the animation was good. I like it better than the original.
Well, the original was obviously written for children,
Yeah.
so it's a lower brow, if you will, style of writing.
Mm-hmm.
And Munis says maybe you could find some older catalogs like the Woolworth in one of the houses, or something that is worth a decent amount. I don't know what it's worth, but I
Yeah.
just thought it was really interesting because that's a great throwback.
all my pens are out of ink.
David doesn't have a pen with ink in it.
Yeah, but we
Throw 'em
saw
away.
we're gonna rewatch that 200X.
Uh-huh.
We watched it a couple of years ago. And I was surprised at how much I liked it. I thought it was gonna be
Yeah.
kind of cheesy, but it was actually pretty good. And like I said, it was the animation and the voice acting was pretty good. I liked the way they explained a lot of the characters. They gave them a backstory, showed you where they came from and all of that. You saw how messed up Man in Arms was
Well,
or
he's messed
is.
up. If you really pay attention to what's going on in the original mini comics, you realize what a bastard Man at Arms actually is. Because, like Mechanic, for example, it isn't the backstory. He had some kind of injury, so
Yeah.
Man at Arms experimented on him and gave him
Yeah.
the electronic neck. And then the two guys that are like tops, they had some accident.
Oh yeah,
They were
he
royal
merged them
guards.
together.
They were royal guards that had an accident, and he Frankensteined them into top men, and they're with a little spinny thing on the bottom. They woke up
Oh
like that.
yeah.
It's like, golly, he's like an evil scientist or something. He's worse than Skeletor.
Yeah, and he did that to Stridor. He wanted to kill him, get rid of him. I think it was Stridor.
Mm-hmm.
It was one. Yeah, I think it was Stridor. He had created them, and then he didn't want them anymore. He was like, "Oh, I'll just scrap them and get rid of them." And then they convinced him to keep them.
That's also where Faker came from, because he made Faker, and then he didn't think Faker was convincing enough to take the place of, so that Prince Adam and He-Man could be seen at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So he smashed him up and threw him in a trash pile, and Skeletor found it. And it's like, golly, dude, what the hell?
No, but that show was really good though. I did like that. I'm a hoarder. My one small room needs cleaned out. Bought some totes today. One room full of stuff. No cats allowed except for Garfield.
Well, no cats allowed in here except for Miss Kitty.
Hey, Uncarded.
Uncarded is here. Miss Kitty doesn't want to climb on anything. He likes the J.C. Penney catalog. And Pastor Rick says, who remembers the old Power Records with the read-along book? Yeah. A lot of companies did that. Golden Book did that.
We have a few, don't we? We had got from an estate sale.
Yeah, I got a stack of them down there.
I don't know if they're Power Records, but there's some of the children's records that we found at an estate sale. And that estate sale, man, those people ended up just giving stuff away after a while, because we got a bunch of stuff and we just loaded it up and we brought it there and we were like, okay, what's the price? And, in our minds, we were going to just take some stuff out. And they were like, oh, yeah, we're ready to go. We don't want to come back tomorrow.
Give us a price for the whole box.
So it ended up being pretty cool. But good to see you, Pastor. Thank you for stopping by.
Space wheel, my zoo wheel. See, so you can... My zoo wheel.
That's not a record.
This is Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yeah, but that's a cassette.
Oh, this is the cassette one. These are cassette ones.
Yeah, but you can read along.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the record ones.
That Danny K, Ugly Duckling. See, the records in there. Hansel und Gretel. 3 Billy Goats Gruff. A lot of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
3 Little Pigs. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Mickey and the Beanstalk. That was a fun one. Thumper's Race. Lady and the Tramp. Dumbed down versions, of course.
Yeah.
Peter Pan. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
And an unused sticker sheet of Shirt Tails.
But back to Uncarded. If you see Skeletor's story, he got really screwed over by King Randor, because King Randor and Skeletor are brothers, and King Randor's mother didn't like Skeletor because he was a different race, and they kicked him out and wouldn't allow him to have the throne.
He was firstborn. He was
Yeah,
the one who was supposed to be the successor.
yeah. And Randor pulled a okey doke on him, threw that acid in his face. Thought he died.
Yeah.
That's how he became Skeletor. But that's a good story. They kind of tell you a little bit about it in 200X, but they don't go that deep in it. If you read some other like lore, it
Yeah.
tells you more about it.
And they don't really hardly touch it at all in the original. There's one I can't even remember which one it is. There's one episode where Skeletor says something to the effect of, if they find out about the connection between me and Keldor, there'll be problems.
Yeah. I have 3 plush Garfield toys, and one of them is new from this year from Walmart.
They're making that? Oh, yeah, because the movie's
Yeah,
out.
the
So they're trying to
movie.
push that again. And
Hey,
Patrick is here.
how are you? Andros is here.
And Dorian says, if you're a hoarder, you cannot use your rooms for their intended purposes. That's true, because that's why I was saying you have like a space like about this wide, you got to walk through sideways, and then it leads to like a depression where you lay down, and that's where you eat and sleep, and then you got to go like this and roll to get back up again, and while you're sleeping, roaches run across your face. And
I don't know. You can use your room for its intended use, because if you got a bedroom, you can still sleep in it.
Yeah, in that little pit, while everything else is packed to the ceiling.
I think I got the wrong idea of hoarder. Y'all going by the TV show.
The intended purpose of the room is to store things.
Yeah.
And you got bags full of like empty soda bottles and bags full of dirty diapers.
From 20 years ago. Your kid is 20 years old.
And when you sit there and it's real quiet, you can hear scurrying all through the house.
God, I'll leave. I'll move out. All that stuff would just stay there.
Because a place full of rats.
Skeletor is my favorite Motu character.
Says uncarded.
I don't know if I got a favorite Motu character, because after a while, they all kind of get on your nerves a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like the heroes, except for like Ram Man and Orko. The rest of them are just kind of
useless.
Basically,
they really are. And He-Man even treats them that way if you're really paying attention. Oh, Tila, why don't you go and do this while Orko and I get everything done, because you'll be out of my way, and that's why I sent you here and you over there. And he just basically tells everyone else to go off and do something, while him and either Ram Man or Orko actually solve whatever the problem is.
The Motu Revelation show goes deep into Keldor's story. Yeah, I had actually looked it up on YouTube, and it got a couple of variations that go real deep in there, and it gets interesting. And I wish that like one of the storylines had did more with it, that to tell the story of how they got started. Because not only with Skeletor, but if you look at a lot of these villains, they got some interesting backstories and how they came about, how they came to be. And they don't always touch on it. Sometimes they do, a show or a TV or a movie, a touch on it, kind of give you what's going on. But most of the time they just concentrate on, okay, this is the villain, period. Don't really tell you how did they get to this point. But if you look it up online, you can find more of Skeletor's story, and it is pretty interesting. I watched Storage Wars, and one of the buyers got a good locker with vintage. Yeah, sure he did.
Storage Wars. Yeah, you can't trust that show. Storage War. There's another fake one. But and I've read the thing. I've seen the interviews with the one guy from Storage Wars. He thinks it ruined the business. Because that was his profession, was cleaning out storage lockers, and he can barely afford them anymore because of that show. Because now he was like, no one ever used to show up and you can pick up a locker for $10-15, and now they're going for hundreds, thousands, and there's nothing in there because most you'd have to buy like 25 lockers to get one good one. They don't show you that on the show, and then now you can't afford to do it.
Aren't the other guy hero's duty is to protect certain areas of Eternia? He-Man can't be everywhere at once.
Why is he always running all over the planet?
Yeah.
Oh, and there's Johnny.
Hey,
Future.
Johnny, how are you?
He's getting ready for work.
Oh, wow. Well, have a good time at work. Hope you have a good day. Good night, I mean.
William wants to know what we think of the Super 7 O-Ring figures after seeing test shots in person at the Joe Fest. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, they look... I don't really pay that much attention to them, to be honest, because it's not something I'm interested in. But it just looks like an O-Ring figure. I mean, there's really nothing to say. Uncarded says, Masters of the Universe holds a special place in their heart. They remember getting Castle Grayskull for Christmas the year it came out.
Wow.
He-Man and Merman. It was the best Christmas ever.
That's good.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's why people are still looking for that stuff now. Yeah. But yeah, I talked to Brian Flynn for a minute.
Yeah, you did.
But because she took off, and I was still talking to Brian Flynn, but I didn't examine a lot of what was in there too closely, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, okay, they're bringing the O-Ring figures back. I mean, that's nice. But their project failed because you remember they were going to make that. They were going to make the airship Cobra Command air carrier.
The aircraft carrier, the one that was never made originally.
It didn't make it. It didn't make it. And that was supposed to come with a bunch of O-Ring figures. Yeah. And it's like, oh well, I mean.
Well, maybe I don't remember how much they were going for, but something that big.
It was expensive.
It was going to be expensive.
And there was a deluxe version too, with other additional figures or something, or figure pack you could get separately, and it's just like. Oh man, it's expensive. I don't know. Yeah,
it's expensive, and I know I got their Thunder Tank and the Turtle Wagon.
Yeah,
they make good vehicle sets. They do make good play sets. I will give them that. But even the Thunder Tank was expensive. The van was expensive, and that aircraft carrier, I can't remember how much it was going to be.
I think a lot of people didn't want to invest in it because they know that most of the stuff that Super 7 produces is, aftermarket. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah, but you can't go in buying like that.
People do that.
I don't understand that. I can't.
People do that.
I don't understand that. It's like, okay, buy it because you want it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go into and maybe that's my fault, and maybe I'm not good for that. But I don't go in buying saying, okay, will this be worth anything in 3 years, 10 years, 20 years? I'm like, oh, I like this today. And I'm going to like it next month. And maybe that's the wrong idea. I don't know. But, and I've said this before, I don't think it's nothing that I have that I bought that I can say, man, I really don't want that. Now, there's a couple of things I'm like, I don't care for that. All that much, and I'll get rid of it. But I don't be like, man, I ain't getting rid of that because I paid $40 for it and now it's worth $5. If it's worth $5, it's worth $5. But I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Surprised they branded them under the reaction line. I thought that it would.
That was the bottom of the rung, says Severus. All putting them on the card art is already there. It's already the same size and shape.
Yeah.
And Craig says Merman was their favorite. And Renard says, please post more classic TV commercials soon. I'll try. I've had some problems with YouTube with that. And they've labeled some of my commercial lineups as made for children and blocked them.
Hey, Robert.
Yep.
Yeah. I know I got a couple that I'm going to put up. I usually
They gave me a hard time.
Yeah, David gets slammed, but he's monetized. I'm not monetized, so I do on my channel.
William says, okay. Pixel Jan just said the Vac Metal Silverhawks Ultimates figures are very fragile. The foot fell off of one and the Vac Metal was flaking. Not good for Super 7. Wow. And Munin was saying something about that too because, I was shown...
falling apart now.
These Skeleton Warriors figures that I showed, did a showcase of it this past week,
Okay.
and stuff that was vac metallized in the 70s and 80s is still vac metallized. Like, we showed that last week, the C3PO up there.
Yeah.
You can see him. That's right here. The
Yeah.
deluxe C3PO from 1978. He's still gold as I don't know what. How come they can't do it anymore? How come they can't do it anymore? What the hell's going on?
Robert is still on that blue font. It's not even
Yeah.
the font. It's the color background, Robert.
And Craig says the show is so rigged. Which
What show?
Which
Oh,
show?
I think he's talking about the Storage Wars,
Could
because that's
be.
what we were
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Well, all of them.
Yeah, yeah. All of
All of
those
them.
are fake shows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no kidding. And David says, but twerking is fine, and a lot of other nastiness. But
mhm.
me, I have all kinds of issues. I don't even want to get into it. But
Yeah.
they give me warnings and change things to
Yeah.
made for kids, and you can't find a video that's made for kids. You
Mm-mm.
can't search for it. And you can't comment, and you can't leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You can't do anything to it.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's not for kids. And you type the thing and explain to their algorithm and pray it understands you that hey, this is vintage. These are from the 1960s. The target audience is people that are 30 to 60 years old, which is the average viewer on this channel, and it doesn't know what you're saying. It really doesn't. You can't get an actual human. But yeah, I mean, who the hell, what 8-year-old wants to watch 60s Flintstone vitamin commercials? You know what I mean? You want to see it because you might remember that in the 60s and 70s. And I have a Flintstones vitamin montage up. And but little kids don't want to see that crap. They don't know what it is.
It was cool seeing you again, meeting Pixel Dan again.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time with him.
Yeah,
He's
we did
pretty
the
cool.
short with him, and we talked to him for a little while before he had to get going because he had a rush. That's an interesting story, actually. I'm sure he won't mind, because he had to hurry up and wait. Basically, he says, when we were talking, he was like, "Man, I got to finish packing up because I got to be at the airport by 4, and then when I'm at Dallas Fort Worth, I'm going to be sitting there forever. I don't know why they would rush me, and then I got to sit there." But while he was at Dallas Fort Worth, there's a Toys R Us in there. There's a Toys R Us, a small one, because it's the airport. It's a room. Okay, it's a room, but it looks like they had Toys R Us carpet and the big Jeffrey and a big sign, and he's like, "Wow, Toys R Us," and he's all excited until he got in there.
Oh.
And then he's like, "Oh, it's all Lego kits and Funko Pops."
Oh.
And they're way overpriced,
really?
like insane prices.
Everything
don't even
in
make
the
sense.
airport is overpriced, though.
Plus, you got to pay airport tax and whatever. He was like, it was really, it really ended up being kind of a heartbreaker, because you're like, "Wow, Toys R Us," and then you're like, what? This is it? This is it? Oh well. But yeah, we talked to him for a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I said, he had a goal. He had a run because we
Yeah.
could only get there the last day.
It's probably because the plastic is different because of all the modern articulation and part swapping. Vintage figures didn't have that, and the plastic was stronger, says Whim.
Well, I mean, they made stuff that you could swap out, like Micronauts. You could tear them apart and put them back together on different figures. They had stuff that could do that, and Micronauts are still in one piece to this day.
Yeah.
Munin says a vintage figure can keep its vac metal chroming and a modern figure can't is embarrassing. That's the same argument that's made with the new Mego too. Is like, I've got vintage Megos from the 70s that are in perfect condition, and I take this new one out of the package, and when I take him out, his arm snaps in my hands, or his knee breaks, or his head falls off, and it's like, what the hell? I just opened this.
Yeah.
Why can't we still make it like you did in 1974? And Morris says Storage Wars is fake because you can tell some of the logos are taped up on some of the boxes. Oh, good eye.
All of these reality shows, and the thing about it, and we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, because I like watching the home decorating shows, home renovation, home decorating shows.
Yeah.
And I watch them, especially when I go to the nursing home to visit my mom.
Yeah.
That's what's always on, and that's cool because I love it. We don't have HGTV, but when HGTV first came out, they did home decorating shows and renovations, and that's all they showed was decorating and the renovation. Now they're showing you the people that go play bingo, the kids having a surprise birthday party, they going to the park, they go to Home Depot, they go to all these places. Everybody stands outside and they got to narrate because that's what Chip and Joanna started that. And that was cool. Now everybody does it.
Yeah,
So
you got 4 minutes of renovation and 90 minutes of like drama BS,
yeah.
and then the rest is commercials.
And then I was watching one, I think it was Friday, and the name of the show is A House in 100 Days. So they give themselves a time limit of 100 days to build a house start to finish in 100 days. So they're building this house, and then they get all of the vendors are there, the cabinet maker, the floor guy, this guy, that guy, and then they have one generator because they have no power, even though they just showed in the kitchen the lights on, but they outside and they're showing, oh, we only have one generator to power all of these vendors.
Which nobody would do.
No, and then they show
No.
you the extension cords going to this one generator, and then the guy is like, oh, I hope the generator doesn't overheat. Then the next scene, the generator's on fire, and you can see that it's a CGI fire, and it's like,
Yeah, they
why,
superimposed the fire.
why do we need this fake drama? People come here to watch you renovate the house, see the paint color. How
Yeah.
did you do these cabinets? Oh, I like this backsplash. Nobody needs to see that. Nobody cares that it's your wife's birthday and you're gonna have a party, and your kid um they showed the one, and that thing got on my nerves so bad. They talked the whole show about potty training the daughter, all the show, talking to all of the friends. How did you potty train your kid? It's like, why are you putting the kid on blast on TV?
Drama.
And the child is like 1 or 2 years old, and now when they turn 20, they're gonna see this and like, I can't believe my parents had me on TV talking about they trying to potty train me and having like balloon releases and all of this. Celebrate. This is stupid. Nobody wants to see this.
Well, the days of Bob Vila are long past us. It's a whole nother world. It really is.
I miss this old house because all Bob Vila did was go in that house
and show you
how. This is why we cutting this board like this. You need 3 3/4 plywood. We're gonna use this kind of drill, this drill bit. This is what we doing. That's all Bob Vila did. Mm-hmm. You knew how to build a house with Bob Vila.
Yes.
And these
you don't know what the hell's going on. You can't trust it either.
No, it's all fake, and all you want to do is see them build. Oh, we picking out this cabinet. Oh, this is the color choices we got. Oh, we're going to use this backsplash. That's all I want to see. I don't see nothing. If the O-ring figs are same price point as current figures, they
will see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Time will tell, Craig. And Eric says Super 7, I think, needs quality control help. If I don't have a lot of experience with them, but I did buy the supersized Charlie Brown Snoopy and Linus. Oh, I'm jealous. And a couple of them arrived with flaws. Oh, I'm heartbroken because I'm a sucker for peanuts. I got some great vintage peanuts stuff. But,
hey, George.
That's something I would love to get into, but I don't want to pay that much. Although aftermarket, they're not looking too good. We saw the Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown at the show for like 170 in the box.
Yeah, and that thing was like 300, right?
I think so. George says Deadpool and Wolverine, yes or no. I'm hoping it'll be great. I'm not a fan of Deadpool at all, so I'm not going to see it. A lot of people are interested in that. Maybe they'll go in a different direction. I saw the first one, but not after the first one. I didn't want to ever see Deadpool again. I thought it was. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I thought it was too vulgar, too adolescent for my taste. But
Yeah.
you know, like I said, a lot of people like it, but that's fine if you enjoy it. David says he saw a YouTuber who went to Joe Fest and exposed Toy Federation trying to get more clicks. Really?
I don't know. I don't know why people need to do all that stuff, all that fake drama.
Just
Like
do
we were
what you
talking
do.
to,
Yeah, just do what you do. And I've had people try, and who am I? I'm not like, I don't have like a million subscribers. I've had a couple of channels try to start a feud with me, and I'm not even gonna say
No.
who it was because I don't care. I never answered them back, never responded, nothing, because I'm just trying to enjoy the hobby.
Man, please, we too old for that.
I'm
Shoot.
just trying to enjoy the hobby and share it. I don't need all the fake drama. And sadly enough, though, if I went with it, I bet you I'd get 10 times the views.
Yeah.
That's the problem, and that's kind of sad.
No, but we ain't trying to get views like that. I mean, we ain't hurting like all that. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to get more views, get a couple of more pennies, but we ain't that we ain't that hurting. I mean, I wouldn't come on no more. I'd just be like, screw that. Is Morris selling cat food? I heard his name and I remember Morris the cat.
Yeah, Morris. Was it 9 Lives?
I think it was 9 Lives. Aren't you close to Magnolia Lane Farms? No, that's in
Severus
Texas.
says.
That's in Texas. We in Georgia.
Robert says it's nice seeing you with other YouTubers. I hope we see more of that. I'm surprised you haven't met more YouTubers. MIB, Pixel Dan, Justice Curry. Well, we've had Justice Curry on here.
And MIB.
On a live chat. We've had MIB on a live chat. We've had Motu Joe.
Yeah.
Pixel Dan has been here in the museum, and he actually filmed it for his channel.
Yeah.
And we might have a few more. I can't say who yet though, because it's tied in with Joe Lanta, and Joe Lanta wants us to do panels again.
Hey, he's a monkey.
And we might have a couple of the other well-known YouTubers come here, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, we have heard of Savage Crucibles. We interviewed them at Toylanta.
Yeah, we did
and we did an unboxing.
They gifted me a figure and asked me, you know, no obligation if you want to do an unboxing, and I did an unboxing of one of their figures.
How did you like it?
No, it's not a bad figure actually. It's for the price, it's not bad, and it's got a lot of options. There's a lot of options with the figure. Even the jaw was articulated on that figure. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty impressive. But yeah, it's up in the closet. I still have it.
Yeah, and then also something we didn't know during the review. The parts are interchangeable.
The clothing comes off. I couldn't figure it out. I wasn't sure. And then the guy told me afterwards. He was like, actually, yeah, because you can interchange the clothing with any of them.
Yeah. Will this be the last generation that will connect to nostalgia and collect physical toys, comic books, and action figures? We've talked about that quite a bit. Actually, we did a video on that, and we think so, because it doesn't feel like kids nowadays are interested in toys like all that.
This is the one that they gave me to and I did the review on it. Like about a month ago or so.
Yeah, the review is on his channel if you find it, because he went into big detail. If you ever saw any of David's reviews, he went into deep detail.
Yeah, I pick everything apart, because if there's a flaw, I'm gonna find it.
What are some of your classic TV show themes? The theme. He don't want to know the name of the show. He want to know the theme.
Oh, I know what yours is.
What?
From Knight Rider. The theme music, right?
He talking about the music or like like what it's about?
I think he means the music.
I love Knight Rider.
Clarify that for us, Renard.
Yeah, clarify. But I like the Knight Rider theme. I want to hear it updated with turn the bass up a little bit more. Don't make it too loud. And
she wants to remix it.
No, but actually a rapper used that music. It was good. They did a good job with it. They used they used that theme in their song. I think it's Up Jump the Boogie by Timbaland and Magoo.
Oh my God.
I know it's Timbaland and Magoo. I can't think of the name of the song, but they used the Knight Rider theme. I also like the Dallas theme, that the from season 1 when they had the bass guitar.
That bass was too much. That bass was like,
oh, y'all want me to play this bass? I'm gonna play this bass. He played.
And that was back when Dallas didn't have any money. because every song on that show was the Dallas theme song. They had the
Yeah.
country music version, they had the disco version. Anywhere that they went and eaten in a restaurant and someone's playing the piano and they're playing the soft piano man version of the theme song. Ding 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 ding. It's like they couldn't afford any music at the time, so well, how many times can we rework this song?
That is true. And on Knight Rider, I don't know if they did it originally, but boy, they got the cover version of every
Because
popular
you know
song
how,
known
like,
to man.
yeah, you know how, like, because we have it on disc, we're watching it now actually. Because like Miami Vice,
Mhm.
Miami Vice used the actual music. They used the top 10 Billboard stuff that was popular when that show came out.
Yeah.
So every week you heard fantastic music. Knight Rider does the same thing, but they got cover bands to do the music, except for the episode where Michael Knight pretended he was, because you know he's like a secret agent. He was pretending to be a rock star, but he sang his own music because David Hasselhoff was a musician.
Mhm.
So, but he had his own, like,
He sang the
rock.
whole album.
He did. He did the whole episodes of music video for David
Yes.
Hasselhoff's
It was
his
promoting his
because you know he
record.
was big in Denmark.
Yeah.
That's true too.
He had I can't remember the name of that song he had, but he did have a popular song that was on the radio.
God. Oh my God.
I actually enjoyed Trading. I used to like Trading Spaces. I used to watch that as a kid. It was a fun show, and the
Says
families or neighbors would exchange houses and renovate a room in each other's house. Yeah, that was a good one. Those people are the real snake men.
Gotta
Watch out. Yeah.
And then Severus says that expose of Toy Federation was pure clickbait, embarrassing. Really, he
Wow.
made the trade. You can always say no.
Yeah, well.
And Easel Monkey said, "Thanks for sharing your experience. I'm going to grab The Warrior with the Ball by Frazetta. I might have spelled the artist name wrong on their website." Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I like the way it looks, and we saw it in person up close, and it looks really good. And once David got it, it's not all flimsy.
Yeah.
Like you get some of them. I have been noticing more independent figure makers.
Says Munin. Yeah, we saw a bunch this time. We showcased a couple of them.
Yeah, but it was so hard at that show. It was so many people. It was hard to move, hard to hear, hard to get around, but I tried.
Dean says, when I did the showing of the Dukes of Hazzard figures, you don't have Luke Duke carded. It's actually Vance.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's saying
no.
yours is Vance.
No,
well,
don't say that now.
You've got another one. So is it Vance? It doesn't say.
Yeah, no, that's not Vance. No, Dean. You gotta be wrong.
It says Bo and Luke on the card.
Yeah, it said Bo and Luke. Bring it over here so Dean can see. He got me mixed up with somebody else. Airwolf has the best theme music, and Airwolf, I don't remember.
That says Luke. You're covering his name.
Oh Lord, see, that Luke.
Says Luke.
There ain't no Vance, because I sure didn't like Cody and Vance.
That says Bo.
Cody and Vance got on my nerve, and that's their picture on the back. Look, see the picture.
Because they changed the artwork. They even changed the lunchbox for Cody and Vance.
Yeah, they did. Cause I have the lunchbox for Bo and Luke, and the one with Vance and Cody are different.
Yeah.
We tried watching Airwolf, or I tried watching Airwolf. I couldn't get past the first episode. I remember watching it as a kid, but I went back to watch it. I couldn't get past the first episode. I don't remember the theme music for that, and I don't remember watching Rockfoot Files.
I remember Rockford Files. That was fun. The girl on Airwolf was getting on her nerves.
Yeah, she was all loose and just throwing herself out there. Magnum PI had a really energetic theme song.
I like the theme songs from Space 1999. And no, I don't have Two Old Geese. I don't have any Mythic Legions. Space 1999 and Star Blazers. George
Gilligan's
says
Island.
Magnum PI and Simon and Simon. I remember Simon and Simon.
I remember that. Weren't they brothers? I know they were
Yeah,
like
they're
private
detectives. Everybody
investigators.
was a
Something.
detective. Everybody was a
In
detective.
the 70s
Mhm.
and 80s, everybody. Yeah, they were.
And Renard says the opening theme music of the
Yeah,
TV show. Okay,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah, so we were on track.
Or A-Team has a really peppy
I
song.
don't remember it.
Severus says everyone using Mythic Legion's playbook, Savage and
Yeah.
Animal Warriors. Awesome to have more indies in the space, and most of them are Legends scale. Like
Yeah.
I say Legends instead of 1/12 because the Legends are like a hair bigger. Robert
Dynasty.
likes
We
Dynasty.
watching Dynasty now.
Still. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to point it out real quick. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be on the Nostalgic Pod Blasts channel because he's doing an unboxing and we'll be guests on his channel.
Yeah, so if you got time at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be over on Nostalgic Pod Blast, and he comes on all the time. His name is Chance.
Yes.
And we're going to be over there. So come and hang out if you have the opportunity, if you have time. I get very angry at the channels that wallow in. I do too, and honestly, I've stopped watching a couple of channels.
And there was a couple that we really enjoyed. We thought we enjoyed, and then they started a feud, and it's like, what are you doing? I mean, being all vulgar and angry, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Life's hard enough.
Cops coming back. Eagle Force reveal Cops cartoon. Oh, you mean Cops the
show?
Because Cops, you know, like Cops, the one where the real police officers, that's coming back too.
Oh yeah, I think he means
the
Cops
TV show. Yeah,
the original show was funny. That show was funny.
Saw the. Oh, you mean the cartoon?
Yeah, the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Fighting crime in a future time.
Yeah.
Mark Franco is here from
Mark.
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod,
where they have great potato chips. I like Cape Cod potato chips. I like the texture.
No, Columbo never had a theme. It just came.
The show just starts. Good point. The show just starts. They don't waste a second on that show.
Matlock got a good. I like the Matlock theme. Matlock and in the heat of the night.
Half that show is scat music. Shooby-doo-doo, whoop-a-doo. That show is
really.
The music is terrible. Severus says David Hasselhoff was on the wall in Berlin when it came down.
Really? Oh wow.
Hey, people pick on Hasselhoff, but man, he got around and he had a long career.
I'm searching for a rap song because I'm in a Michael Knight mood.
Kind of mood, Eric Peter says. Yeah.
Yes, it is Timbaland and Magoo. I can't remember the name of the song, but it is Timbaland and Magoo, and they use the theme music from Knight Rider, and I used to love that song. It sounds good if you got good bass in your car or whatever. It's a good song. Coy and Vance say no, and Luke.
Bo and Luke, I think he means. On the card, he's suggesting that there's a different head mold.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, look.
Google Vance Duke Migo. Oh, okay.
Okay, and who is this?
Basement Blues.
Basement Blues.
Hey, Basement Blues, how you doing?
Glad you could join us today.
Are you planning on getting a General Lee from Ramen Toys? No. I'm getting the Brave Star and 3030. Trust me, Vance is the last Duke I need.
Says Dean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not getting those. I couldn't understand why they didn't make at least the season 1 characters, all of them, like Roscoe, Uncle Jesse. They made the 3 3/4 of Uncle Jesse and Roscoe and stuff,
and then they got weird with it. No, I don't think because some of them were only available with the vehicle, I thought, right? I don't remember how that lineup goes off the top of my head.
The head does look like Vance.
It's the same head that they used for the astronaut Burke from the Planet of the Apes series, because the Planet of the Apes series is actually based on the live-action TV show from Mego, not from the movies. But yeah, they recast those head molds all over the place.
No. Hey,
No,
Arkham. Hey, Daniel. How
no,
are
we're
you?
still. Hey, Arkham Comics is here. Arkham has a channel. He is well known in the comic community,
Yes.
actually.
Well-known grader.
Expert grader, and
Expert
he
grader.
has some interesting videos. You might want to check his channel out if you're into comic books. What was I saying?
We aren't watching any new anime.
Yeah, it's still Star Blazers.
Yeah.
We're on season 3 of the original Star Blazers.
Cartoon or show playing in your museum.
Why? So YouTube can shut me down?
Well, they won't shut you down if it's just playing, not the music, but it's just playing, right?
I don't know.
Most cops PI shows had really great themes.
Yeah.
But it seems like
Arkham says SWAT.
Yeah, because we were talking about the 70s.
Right there, actually. There's the LJN SWAT figures right there.
Yep, and Starsky and Hutch.
Yep.
But it seemed like in the 70s and the 80s, the majority of the shows were police because you had Chips.
Yeah.
You had Hunter.
Oh yeah, Hunter.
You remember Hunter with Dee Dee and the guy?
Dee Dee McCall. See? Amigo-like LJN SWAT figures there. No accessories. Accessories were sold separately. I kid you not. They were sold separately.
Yeah, Robert, Nostalgic Pod Blast is on YouTube, and he'll be on at 3 o'clock, and we're going to be unboxing comics.
Yes.
So, if you're into comic books and you want to see comics, join us tomorrow at 3. Hey, C. Reed here. What's up with you? Everything's good on our end. Did you ever see Days of Heaven in Nick Fury? No. He was Nick Fury?
Barely. That was a sci-fi original, like an original movie.
Oh, okay.
He played Nick Fury. I barely remember it, but I did see it.
Robert only has YouTube. Rookie SWAT had good themes.
That's the rookie.
I never watched either one of those.
That's the rookies in the blue cards. In the blue cards there. They also LJN did SWAT, the rookies, and emergency. 4 figures each, but there's multiple packaging variations. So it's a big can of worms if you want to complete it. Seriously, it's a huge can of worms if you want to try to complete it.
It's expensive.
It can get very expensive. It's kind of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando figures from Diamond Toys. There's 8 figures, but there's like multiple packaging variations and sizes. They came in different sizes too, so it's a mess.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yep.
How far is that from Boston?
I don't know.
Because you're from Boston.
I don't remember though, because anywhere I went, I rode the train or the bus, so you don't think about it.
So let me show y'all a great pickup.
Oh God! All right, I gotta go. This was the great pickup. This was amazing. This is
Why are you trying to interrupt and distract? Everybody want to see my great pickup.
Because I know what's coming. Oh, go on. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're doing pops again.
No. No, for real.
Not that though. What do you got? Oh yeah. More Exo Squad. And four vehicles in this series, and this thing is a transformer.
Yeah.
Because it changes from
I'll show them on the side.
Okay.
Oh, it's on the front.
Yeah, it changes from the Exo mode to a vehicle mode.
Yeah.
With the figure inside. And I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool. But again, Playmates in the 90s, Playmates was at the top of their game, as was Toy Biz, while Hasbro and Kenner and everybody was struggling. Remember, and Kenner got bought out by Hasbro in the early 90s. C. Reed says, first new episode review on the Goonies
on Movie Dogs. So check out Movie Dogs. So if y'all like movie reviews, check out Movie Dogs and see what is on there.
And William says he's happy with the Night Stalker. Mattel did a good job.
That's already out? Wow, that came out kind of quick, didn't it?
Yeah, well, And then Munin says, it's a Funko Pop. Run, David. Get your flamethrower. I know, huh? I And David says, "Oh my, Exo Squad." Yeah, Exo Squad's a great. It was a fun show.
It was a
Cool
really good
show.
show. It was a good
There
show.
was a comic book from Tops. Top. Remember who remembers? Oh, and Juno's here.
Hey Juno, how you doing?
Who remembers when Tops was doing comic books in the 90s? But
Yeah.
they only made one issue. There is a single issue of Exo Squad, and nothing else was ever done to my knowledge. But the toys are fantastic from that
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
They really are.
And that's a highly recommended cartoon if y'all haven't seen it. It is on one of those streaming devices. I mean services, because we have a bunch of streaming services, and I'll look for vintage cartoons, especially the ones that I've never seen before. I try watching it, and that one came up and we watched it, and it was really good. It has is a continuous story. All both seasons are one continuous story. It has a really good plot. It's a social plot, but the way they address it, I don't want to give it away too much, but the way they addressed it was really was done
Because
really
they
well.
actually show both sides of the problem.
Yeah, they did, and you got to understand both viewpoints. So it's a good show. If you I want to say it might have been on Plex, but I can't remember what streaming service, but it is on one of those free streaming services, the whole 2 seasons, and it was pretty good. Just found an unopened vinyl record of the soundtrack, The Good, the Bad. Oh, that had a soundtrack?
Yeah, well, I mean, all of those movies had a soundtrack, but there's actually pretty interesting music on that in that soundtrack. Actually,
Thumbs up
oh,
on
the
the
Skeleton
Skeleton
Warrior
Warrior show.
short.
Dr. Cyborn is not cheap these days. I thought that was one of your cheap figures, underrated or
Yeah, the
low
because
value.
the whole Skeleton Warriors line is not that expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? By sharp comparison, I should have mentioned it when I did the video,
Mm-hmm.
but that line was reissued in 2014
Oh, really?
by a company called October Toys. So 20th anniversary Skeleton Warrior figures. They cost like 4 times as much as the original line. Yeah. Because you can, most of the time you can find Skeleton Warriors. The vehicles cost a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, you go to the shows, if they've got them, they're like $10-$15. They're not that expensive. Or online, you can buy them pretty cheap on eBay, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, the October Toys ones are like $50-$80 or whatever. They look exactly the same.
And it probably the quality probably is not as good.
No, and they're in a box.
Oh, so you can't even see them.
Or you can. It's a window box.
Okay,
But
okay.
they're in a box. Display name is here. He says
Hey,
Exo
display
Squad
name.
looks like it's one of the base. No, it doesn't say Robotech, because the ones that are tie-ins with Robotech, it says Robotech on it. Exo Squad hyphen Robotech, and that one does not. But I see what you're saying. William says he posted pictures of the Night Stalker in the group, our Facebook group, open by chance.
I didn't realize that was out yet.
And David says he has season 1 of Exo Squad on DVD,
Oh, okay.
missing the others. I think there's only 2.
Yeah, it's only 2 seasons.
I don't know
and they're pretty good.
I don't know if they did anything with Exo Squad. I mean, with Exo Squad, with Robotech. But to me, that just doesn't fit anyways. I remember the original Robotech, but whatever. And Juno
89.
says, do you remember a short-lived one-season show from '89 called Hard Times on Planet Earth starring Martin Cove? I don't know if I remember that one.
I don't think so. I don't think I remember.
I don't know if I remember that one. But there's so many cartoons.
Like Robotech Cycle.
Yeah, Robert says it looks like a Robotech Cycle. It looks like it looks like one of the cycle designs from like what season 2? Is that when they were using the bikes? It's hard to remember. But it was 3 different animes that they merged into a show for the American audience, because all they had to do was just rewrite the dialogue, because you don't know what the hell they were saying anyway. But
it's on Peacock. Okay, David said he just looked it up. Exo Squad is on Peacock. So yeah, it's on Peacock. And if you never saw it, it is a very good show, well animated. The plot is good, it's consistent. The voice acting was good. Yeah, every episode was pretty solid. It's a good show. It really was. And I like the way they handled things.
And again, that was from an era when Playmates was at the top of their game, so that the toys are great. But they and
For
it's one of
sure.
the few Playmates lines, aside from like Ninja Turtles or something, that's pretty expensive. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of the '90s stuff, Playmates like Earthworm Jim and things
Hmm.
like that, Skeleton Warriors, are still pretty affordable. As the Star Trek stuff and the what's the other one? Sequest.
Hmm.
I mean, they're $5 bin stuff now. You
Yeah.
know, that's really tanked. But the um the Exo Squad stuff is up there. Is up there. It's a great toy though.
K Munin just saw the Skeleton Warrior cycle on Etsy.
For
60
sixty
bucks
dollars. Yeah.
before shipping.
I think that's the most expensive piece in the whole set is the
Hmm.
cycle. The horse doesn't usually go for that much, but yeah. And William says he saw the Ninth Stalker is still available on Mattel Creations for 33.
Oh, I think you said it. Somebody did say you can only get that on Mattel Creation. That's why I
Oh,
ain't
okay.
try to do
And
nothing.
David says Extreme Dinosaurs is on Peacock too.
Oh, okay. I ain't checked
All
Peacock
right.
in a while. We do have that. It comes with Comcast.
DC wants to know about Kenner's superpowers. Hey,
Yeah, you got some. I bought
I
you some.
no.
I don't. Isn't that what's in that red box?
What red box?
The superpower. Isn't that in the red box? What's in that? Oh, that's Captain Power. Something. I don't collect superpowers.
So I had it.
Oh boy.
That's I had the complete carded line as well as Secret Wars and all of that. It's part of the collection that was stolen. It was, years and years ago, but I haven't ever gotten back to it.
Not all Peacock is you have to pay, but it might be
Mm-hmm.
because when we have it, because we got if you're in the military or if you have Comcast, Peacock is free. So that's how we got it.
Yeah.
But not everything on Peacock you have to pay for. So you're finished with yes.
Yeah, that's the whole line. That's the whole line. They didn't do much, unless you're looking for more variants. And I have variants of the human figures,
Mm.
but you know, because that's something that Playmates used to do with some of their action figure lines was make color variations. And David reminds us Wildcats is on Peacock as well, and
Yeah,
those are
but they
still
rushed
affordable.
it. They rushed it. I read the comics.
Yeah.
And okay, I saw the cartoon first. You could tell that it was rushed.
Yes.
And then when you go back and read the comics, you're like, this doesn't match at all. The cartoon was still, it was still a
Okay.
good one. Now that I've seen now that I've read the comics,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care for the cartoon that much, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But if you read the comics, of course, you're going to get more stuff. You understand what's going on. They don't explain well in the cartoon
They don't have
what's
time.
going on.
Yeah, they don't have the time.
No, because they just rush right through it. And the whole time you're like, okay, well, what's going on? What's going on? But in the comic book, they did a better job of explaining.
I should hope so.
Whoa, it was stolen.
Yeah, C. Reed says the same thing. I know how you feel.
I hope it wasn't the same story David got. Yeah, I'm meeting
Yeah,
them
well,
old crazy people.
that's what happens. I guess what are you gonna do? It's in the past.
Yeah, that's all you
I can't go back and fix it, so there's no sense worrying about it.
Nope.
But
You just gotta move on,
oh,
adapt, and overcome.
hand me that album.
Oh,
Can you
sure.
reach the album? Since soundtracks came up. Oh, and
Lord.
yeah, here's your soundtrack.
Oh boy.
Here's your soundtrack. Oh, and David corrects himself. He says it's on Tubi, not Peacock.
Okay, so Wildcats is on Tubi. So that's free, Robert.
Yes, I listened to this week.
Oh boy.
So he brought up Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, so I got to bring up Sesame Street Fever. I see your Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and I raise you Sesame Street. This is pre Elmo, so you know it's good. Sesame Street Fever, classic album, classic 70s album here from 1978. and they recreated the inside album cover. Here you go, with Grover jumping and disco dancing and looking like John Travolta there. And what I never knew about it, this album was fun actually listening to it. What I never knew about it was that this was produced by the Bee Gees. And that oh, what's his name? Robin Gibb sings two of the songs on this album. He sings the Sesame Street Fever title song, and he sings the song Trash, which is actually really good. It doesn't sound like a Sesame Street song at all. It sounds like it could have just gone on any disco track, but or not necessarily even disco. And they re-sing some of the other classics on here.
Berkeley's or Vic Rules.
Oh, Vic
like
Rules.
Rick Rules.
Vic Rules is here. Like doing the pigeon or rubber ducky, but they re-sing it. They don't just change the music; they redo the whole thing. Oh, Severus had the album. You got to go get it again. You got to go get it again, and then I'll answer that in a minute.
Yeah.
But my favorite was the C is for Cookie disco, and Cookie Monster is like because you've heard C is for Cookie. It's that's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts flipping out and he's screaming that he needs a disco cookie, and I just about lost it. Raisin cookie and chocolate chip. I want disco cookie. But I never realized that Robin Gibb was involved with this. I mean, I guess it's too close of a parody
for them to not
be involved. I mean, this even looks like the Bee Gees on the cover. This is exactly what the cover of the Saturday Night Fever album looks like. But
yes,
that cracked me up.
We did watch V. We watched it recently, like a couple years ago.
The original, because it was remade, and the remake is garbage.
Yeah.
But the original, there's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's the miniseries, the original miniseries, which is fantastic.
Yes.
It is really well done, has a great plot, great storyline, well acted. A second miniseries. Oh, V-Dog is there. A second miniseries as a follow-up to the first one, because of the popularity of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's not as good as the first one.
But it's good.
Mm-hmm. Then the TV show.
Garbage.
One season wonder TV show. I don't think they knew what they wanted to do with it, because they went in so many different directions, and then it just kept getting weirder and weirder. Yeah. And then you got the psychic baby, and then you got all this other weird stuff is going on.
The girl that had the baby, and the baby became like an adult in 2 months.
And you got the Robert Englund is in it, and he's Robert Englund from Freddy Krueger, and he's the vegetarian one. And stuff like that, and it's like, oh my god, it just got really weird.
They ended the show on the second miniseries, didn't it? Like blow up or something?
Yeah, they defeated.
Yeah, everything ended, and that's the exact thing that happened in Halloween. Halloween 2, Michael Myers and the doctor dies in the hospital. They blow up, but because of the popularity. They did part 3. Nobody liked part 3, and part 3 was actually pretty good. But they wanted Michael Myers and the doctor back, so then they had to come up with some okie doke.
They stirred the pot,
and bam, Michael Myers is still out, because I think that's the one where he was staying with some guy because he was all burnt up, and the guy nursed him back to health for like a year or so, and then he ended up killing the guy and got away and all of that. And it's like, come on. You can't end the show by blowing everything up, making sure that we close all the doors, and then force them back open with stupidity.
Hey, another Halloween is coming out. So
I thought they finally killed him. They say finally did. Well, they killed him.
They've got another one.
They killed him in Halloween 2000 because they chopped his head off.
I know he's been killed. They finished it several times, and then they bring it back.
The only way I want to see it now, I didn't see the very last one. I saw the one before that, and I thought she was going to try and talk to Michael to find out what went wrong. Why'd you snap? What made you kill the parents, and then kill up, just start being a serial killer.
Yeah.
But then that never happened, and I think that's what would I was gonna say I think that's what would close it, but I don't know because they keep rehashing.
I have a theory about that.
What?
I have a theory about that going back to the first Halloween film,
Mm-hmm.
the best one. And
Well, 1 and 2 was one.
I know,
so
but
you got to
the
count that
first
as
one
one.
had no blood.
What
And
I got to do with
I'm
anything?
just saying, you can have a good thriller without a mess.
Yes.
But when he's the kid,
Yeah.
and you see through his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and he's walking around, and he gets a kitchen knife, and he kills sister. Okay. And then he's standing out in front of the house with the knife, and the police are coming. Tie that in with Halloween 3. Take a close look at the mask he was wearing, and then go back to Halloween 3 and look at the masks. And what was the theme of Halloween 3?
They were all wearing that mask, and that mask made them
And
go
it was
crazy.
going to send a signal
Yeah.
to alter the minds of the kids who were wearing the mask. I think there was supposed to be a connection there, and they just never got back to it.
Well, they didn't get back to it because when Halloween 3 came out, everybody
Got
thought
pissed off.
Michael Myers was going to be in it, and he wasn't,
He
because
wasn't.
they wanted, and they said it because I saw the documentary. Their intent was every Halloween they were going to come out with a new one explaining
New story.
what's going on.
Mhm.
But because everybody hated Halloween 3, it didn't.
And it was a good film.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I liked it. I thought, I was like, okay, and it was actually kind of scary when all them rats and stuff and worms came out of that mask. But nobody liked it because they wanted Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh God, we got to force him back in there when you could have did a part 4 and explain this is what happened to Michael Myers, and say, well, we had that kid in Haddonfield, he was wearing a mask, blah blah blah. You could have did that. And
Yeah.
I thought that Rob Zombie was going to explain. He did a little bit better showing like
Rob Zombie,
his
I don't know.
upbringing, and how he was going crazy. But it's still, I think people just wanted closure as to why did Michael Myers go crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want to know. I just want to know what happened to him, why he went crazy. I mean, even the mask thing would settle that.
That's my theory.
It could be where they were going, but you didn't get that now.
No.
Since I have been looking at the Skeleton Warrior since your collection video, the human characters seem to be easy to find. Yurak is dirt cheap.
Or Ursik. Yeah,
Ursik.
the uncle. And something else I could have mentioned all in that video too, and this could be part of the reason why, is because, I know Uncarded, the Bee Gees were pretty good, and not just disco.
Yeah.
But the humans were $1 cheaper at retail.
Oh, wow.
The skeletons were always $1 more. Like if you bought them at KB, the humans, the red line, humans are $3.99, skeletons were $4.99. At Walmart, the humans were $5.96, and the skeletons were $6.94. They were always roughly $1 more than the human characters for some reason. And C. Reed says the Halloween Blumhouse trilogy was great.
Was that the John Carpenter Blumhouse? I don't know.
And Patrick says Happy Days started off good, then got crazy. Also same for Seventh Heaven.
I used to watch Seventh Heaven, and it was okay. And I guess it was supposed to be like a soap opera, but I don't know. It just, as the kids got older, you see that, okay, they started kind of losing their way of where do we want to go with this? Where do we want to take the family? And then they introduced they had more kids, and I don't know.
There's the LJN Enemy Visitor. There were figures made like the ones that were shown on the show, the little 3 3/4 inch, but they were only sold in like Argentina.
Oh, wow.
This is LJN. It uses the same body mold as like MC Hammer and Michael Jackson and all of those. And the human mask is an actual character from the show, Martin.
Yeah.
The collaborator.
Mm.
He was trying to help the resistance.
What did you think about the 70s and 80s Super Friends? Did we see Super Friends? Isn't that the one with Jana and Jan, the twins and Wonder
Yeah, we've only
Twins?
seen. I have most of it. I haven't seen since I was a kid. We have like the first 2 seasons on disc,
I
and they
like
were okay.
I liked it before Jane and Jana came in
I
there.
like the Legion of Doom version was
Yeah,
better.
yeah, that was good. I had nightmares from Halloween.
Oh no,
4 months Halloween. Wow.
David
In
says.
4 months?
Yep, it's creeping up on you.
John
And
Carpenter said it best. Is there that there's no
no reason to
reason.
give Michael's purpose. He's just a force of nature.
Oh, okay.
Said.
I didn't know he said that. Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
And Robert says they should use your idea for a Halloween thing, but part 3 was after he killed, wasn't it? Well, we don't know what the timeline is.
Yeah.
They don't tell. They don't really tell you.
No.
So that it
It
could
could have
fit.
all been going on at the same time. Halloween End was dumb.
The movie.
That was the last one.
Is that the last one with Jane Seymour?
No, I know Jane Seymour. Jamie Lee Curtis is
Jamie
the
Lee
sister.
Curtis. Same difference. C. Reed says the Blumhouse trilogy is the newer films. I don't know.
I never seen that one.
I don't know because I get tired of it. Honestly, I get tired of those franchises. I don't even want to see them anymore.
Yeah.
The Freddy and Jason and all of that, and it's just like, oh, on and on and on, and then it's just a gore fest. And it that just doesn't appeal to me.
When they keep it going, because I saw the first Jason, that was fine. It had a story. You know what happened. The mama went crazy because the kids allowed the son to die. Okay. I saw the first Freddy, got that. The janitor was molesting the kids. The parents got together, burned him, and then he became
looking for revenge.
Looking for revenge. Got it. You know, I saw them the Halloweens. I saw like golly, I saw a bunch of them all the way to the niece. I think I saw past the niece, which I don't know where she came from, who had kids. But anyway, I saw all that. Um, I don't know. It's now I don't seem like every movie that comes out now almost is not a Halloween, a horror film or some kind of thriller.
They're tired of that, and they don't even give you a good one. That's why I always emphasize on that the very first Halloween had no blood in it. Had no blood in it because quit it.
Oh, you hurt me. See how he doing?
Had no blood in it because they were able to pull off a really good thriller without having to do that.
Yeah.
They were able to pull off a good thriller without having to do that.
But I can deal with a thriller if it has a storyline and kind of like a direction, and you have a lot from the 60s, 70s, even the 50s, some 80s. You got some thriller in there, but it has like a definite purpose. Yeah. Now it seems like let's see how many people we can kill in an hour and a half.
And everything is shock value. And you get that gore porn.
Yeah. And I remember seeing that with Final Destination, because I saw the first one and it was if you remember the premise of Final Destination, it was the first one. It was some kids were going on like a school trip and the plane blew up, but one of the kids was like, no, something's gonna happen, so they didn't get on the plane, but their destiny was to die in the plane, so the people that didn't get on the plane had to die. But okay, I get that, but did you have to die in the most gruesome way possible?
Yeah.
And that's what turned me off about it. Then it came up, they had like 5 of them, I think. It was like 1 million of them.
And how many saws do you need?
Saw got kind of weird too. Oh, William Randall has no interest in the new Superman movie.
Me either.
No, I don't have any interest in. Well, I've said it before. I just got interest in 2 new movies that are coming out, and that's it. Michael Myers was going to be called The Shape, yeah, and he is called The Shape in the books. They had books.
Patrick. Well, yeah.
I didn't know that it was books behind it.
And Robert says, "You're not much of a horror fan. That's okay. Just trying to see what genre you're into. You don't like The Boys either. I know there must be a genre you like." No, it's because The Boys is. I mean, the premise is okay, but all the vulgarity and the sexual gratuity,
Hmm.
I don't need to see it. I'm not interested in seeing that really.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre had very little blood
The
too.
original one,
The
the
original
very
one.
first one, it
Hmm.
was creepy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was creepy, but
I didn't
they
see it.
there wasn't it wasn't like really gory.
Hmm.
Um, Later incarnations, I don't know. That's a different story.
When I was growing up, I really did like horror movies. I used to watch them
Hmm.
all the time. I had a lot. I owned a lot. I used to buy them on
Excuse me.
VCR tape and DVDs. And then as I kept watching them and got older, I was like, okay, now they're starting to be kind of pointless. Like the first Saw, I understood the first Saw. It actually had a story behind it. But then as it continued, it was like, no. And then you had other movies that came out and it was no longer a story involved. It was just, again, let's see how many people we can kill in 90 minutes
And
and
how
how,
really disgusting we can be about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like in the Final Destination movies, it was like, let's find the most gruesome way to kill somebody. Not that, okay, I like I said, I got the premise. These people were supposed to die on this day at this time and they didn't, but their destiny says they have to. But do they have to die in the most gruesome way possible? No, they can just die in their sleep. I
No,
know that wouldn't make much of a movie, but still, it just gets kind of tiresome after a while.
and that was All Music fan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I clicked it on, but then I didn't say hey. Hey y'all, music fan, how are
Joining us
you? Thank
today.
you for joining us.
And Old Geek says they'll ride the franchises until they don't make money and then ride them some more. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of that in the modern era
But
with
not
all
just
these
with
franchises.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Not just horror movies, but with the superhero movies, they all just go and then they go back like to Predator, the Alien. They bringing back Exorcist, all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My top three horror movies: Alien,
The,
Exorcist, and The House of a
yeah,
Thousand
because the
Corpses.
original Alien
Mm-hmm.
was a horror thriller. And then, Aliens, they came out in the 80s, they changed it to an action premise.
Yeah. Yeah, horror movies are okay, but after three and four, it's the same thing.
Says
Yeah,
Robert.
it just start getting kind of weird. The
Unfortunately,
God,
William says Walking Dead got boring after a few seasons.
yeah, it did.
And then that's all music fan chiming back in. All music. Robert says he liked the remake of The Fly and the King Kong, the Peter Jackson version. The yeah. And that's kind of scary too when you think about it. In the 80s, they could even get a remake good because he's
Saw
talking about.
10.
I don't even want to know, but that's terrible. Because again, all they can do is keep setting the bar lower, and then lower and lower and lower. But that's the Jeff Goldblum
Yeah,
version
I
of The
saw
Fly,
that.
because
I
the
saw
the
that one.
original one had Vincent Price.
I don't know if I saw the original,
Yeah,
but
it's
I did
silly.
see Jeff Goldblum, and that
Help
one was
me!
good.
But that's where that whole gag comes from. The help me, because the fly had a little human head on it and like an arm. but but yeah, think about the remakes that took place in the 80s that were actually better than the
The
originals.
Thing.
Yeah, The Thing,
Yeah.
The Blob,
Yeah.
The Fly.
The Fly.
There's a handful. There's a handful of
Yeah.
remakes that you go back and you look at the original film and you're like, yeah, they kind of pulled that off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't see that anymore. Now they make a remake and it's like, what the hell did you do?
Why did you
Why
even
did you do
bother?
this? You couldn't just leave it alone.
The Netflix Chainsaw Massacre was very gory. However, how does the chainsaw keep running? Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not supposed to think about
No,
that. You're
don't think
thinking
about
too
it.
deep into it.
And Munin says it seems like the modern horror movies are only trying to make you throw up instead of telling an actual scary story. No, they're just trying to. It's all shock value stuff. They're trying to creep you
Yeah.
out.
Shock value, jump scares,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Amityville Horror wasn't bad.
The first one.
Yeah.
And then that had 3 originally too, and then they did a remake of that, right?
I saw the original one
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
remake, and they weren't
It was
bad.
a thriller.
Yeah, it
Yeah, more
wasn't
than
more of
anything.
a more of a thriller than a
Hmm.
horror. Stranger Things, I
We've
loved.
never seen Stranger
Mm-mm.
Things still.
But that's kind of like a horror-ish theme. I think
Yeah.
was good.
Robert says the original Fly was good, so was the remake.
The original Night of the Living Dead was good.
Hmm.
And what's the one where they were in the mall?
That's part two of Night of the Living Dead.
No, no, no. When it was a zombie film, but they were stuck in the mall.
That's a sequel to Night of the Living Dead.
When they were in the mall?
Yeah.
Oh, I
When they
thought that
sealed
was called
themselves
some.
up in the mall, and that biker gang,
Yeah, came into the mall.
and then all they had to do was freaking hide.
Yeah, but no, they had to
Yeah.
go confront.
Uh,
Oh, okay. I
and
haven't
Robert's.
seen Stranger
I
Things.
haven't seen it either.
Okay, I
I
thought that
haven't
was
seen it.
called something else. Dead of the Dawn. No. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead. That was the name of it. I
Was
knew it
it?
wasn't no Night of the
I don't
Living
know.
Dead.
I
It
I
was
got confused.
Dawn of the Dead. I knew
Says
that.
Killdozer. Oh, Killdozer.
Killdozer had to come on. He had to go pull out his phone to correct you about that because he know that movie. That was a good one. When it was locked up in the mall. Now I think it was two of those. We
Oh
saw
yeah.
both of them. I think Saw actually had 11 with Chris Rock. Chris Chris Rock was in Saw.
I don't. Doesn't surprise me. Chris Rock can't act. Chris Rock can act like Chris Rock. That's what that you see that a lot with Saturday Night Live alumnist, like Will Ferrell acts like Will Ferrell, and he is a dial. And when he gets the script, because God knows these people don't read them anymore, and he says, "Well, how much Will Ferrell do you want? 5, 6, 7?" Chris Rock's the same way. Chris Rock can act like Chris Rock, only louder, and maybe you want a little vulgarity
He was
peppered in
in
there.
now it wasn't Night of the it wasn't Saw. It was it was Saw. Cuz I remember seeing like the trailer for it and I'm like, wow, he going to be in a serious film? Have you ever No, we never reviewed Fresh
I
Monkey
haven't. I don't have any.
stuff. We never.
Maybe they'll send me one.
Yeah, they'll
If
send
it
you one.
sucks, I'll never get one again.
Oh God.
Because I will tell the truth. William says it's funny cars never seem to run out of gas in movies or TV during chase scenes. Never seen anyone stop at the gas station.
No, they do, Wham. In
Which one?
Jason. The car wouldn't start. Oh, it ran out of gas.
Everything runs out of gas in the horror films. He's talking about like chase scenes because you get fully fueled before you go on a chase.
You know what movie was funny? The Stephen King movie Cars, where they had the people held up in the gas station.
Yeah.
And they were circling around, but then they wanted gas. And the guy had to come out and fuel them up
pump the cars
so
up.
that they could stay hostage.
Well, they were rescued by the talking helicopter.
Hmm?
A helicopter rescued them at the end, and the helicopter spoke to them.
No,
it did. Am I wrong? Someone see this?
Nobody saw that but you.
Dead
of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Yeah,
it's all the same thing. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Watcher.
What's
Watcher? I don't know.
He says watched Vertigo.
Oh.
Vertigo
was Alfred Hitchcock with Cary Grant.
Okay.
But he's good looking.
Yeah.
12 Monkeys. Oh no. T2. They said, yeah, that's the one.
Terminator 2.
Oh, Terminator 2?
In Terminator 2, they stop for gas. This is the vehicle's top speed. Terminator 2 was a good movie. Hank is here. Glad you could make it today.
Oh,
there you go.
God.
Yeah, he's got it. Uncarded. Maximum Overdrive.
That's the one with the trucks.
Great title. Goofy show. Belongs on Riff Tracks.
That wasn't it.
It was a goofy movie. That's a good title though. Maximum Overdrive.
But then they also had the one with the dump trucks with the excavator. and the excavator was
That was
holding.
Killdozer.
Yeah, the excavator was holding them hostage.
And then they had the one with the car, the evil car, and it trapped all the people in the cemetery because it couldn't drive on hallowed ground. And Christine,
all of those was Stephen King. I don't know if Killdozer was Stephen King, but Maximum
I think it
Overdrive.
was.
Christine, Maximum Overdrive, and the one with the car.
Uh-huh.
I think it was called Car. There were
Yeah,
those cars holding people hostage.
I know.
Although not a remake, more of a sequel, Aliens is pretty good action
Yeah.
companion film to the gothic horror of Alien.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. They merged it well. It was a good transition. And All Music says, are we collecting G.I. Joe Classified or Motu Origins? I started with the Classifieds, got too frustrated with it, and stopped quite a while ago. So I gave up. And at Origins, she was only getting vehicles. She doesn't want the figures.
Vehicles and the animals,
Yeah.
not the figures,
Not the
because I
figures.
had the figures from everybody else.
They all
and I
make
just
them.
didn't want to get the figures because it's the same thing over and over
Yeah.
and over and over again. So I just got the vehicles and stuff like that.
And Severus says there was a great Nike
I think ad
in the 2000s. The girl outruns Jason because she's rocking Nikes, but they banned it for being too scary.
Oh no.
That used to happen to them. Nike's had a few commercials banned. They had another one banned where the guy is the basketball player is running up and down the court, and they use CGI to make flames on the basketball. And they had to cancel that one.
Why?
And then the one with the cyclist, I forget what the hell was happening on the it's hard to explain. These guys, they had to stop, and the guy's trying to do something with the pump, and he's on his knees in front of the other cyclist, and people are whizzing by on the cycles and looking, and it looks like they're doing something they shouldn't be.
Okay.
And they had that only got on the air once. Nike has a history of doing that.
Killdozer had his own Marvel comic book. That seems familiar. Car scared the heck out of me. The devil driving a nasty black car.
Yeah.
They made a I think it was, I don't know if it was Jada Metals. One of those I think it was Ertl made the car figure.
Yes.
Well, not figure, but made the die cast of the car. Vertigo was with Jimmy's. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not Cary Grant.
Okay. Display name says Stephen King says he doesn't remember making Maximum Overdrive because he was on too many drugs. He doesn't remember making it, but somehow or other he managed to contract it, turn it into a script, and sell it to a studio.
He was on coke.
He just don't want to admit it. He just don't want to admit that he wrote that.
Because that wasn't one of his best. But he is a really good writer. I will say that. I would take writing lessons from him because he can explain. He can describe something really well. Him and the guy that did A Time to Kill. What is his name? I can't think. I read a bunch of his books. He's good at descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
God, I cannot think of the guy's name now.
Munin says it sounds like a Highlander where you can't go. Well, they can't fight on hallowed ground in Highlander, and I think that's only by choice out of respect that they're not supposed to do that. So in a church, a graveyard, places like that, they will not challenge each other.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And All Music says you have to get the Prince Adam and Cringer 2-pack though. But they've already done that several times too.
No, I do have the Prince Adam and Cringer, the Prince Adam and the Sky Cycle. And I have the Keldor and what is his name? Trapjaw 2-pack when it was before he became like the characters that they don't make, like the Keldor and the Trapjaw. I got those, and I did get the Prince Adam and Cringer, and then like I said, it was like Prince Adam and the Sky Sled, and the Prince Adam and something else. I got those, but not just like all of them, like the regular carded figures. I didn't get those because they were the same as all the others.
And they're still making them. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah, and it seemed like they just make the same ones over and over. And
Yeah.
again, like I've said before, yeah, Kronos was
Yeah.
Cronus. I say Kronos, the timekeeper. Cronus was trap
Cronus.
was trap jaw. Yeah, I
Hmm.
got that one because they rarely ever make um Keldor, and they've never made Cronus.
Yeah.
So, that was a had to get. But there's a lot of characters on Masters of the Universe that they just never made, and they just constantly drive
The
the same
same
ones over
ones.
and over. I went into Walmart today and I noticed the Jurassic Park toys was blown again.
Those typically
Selling
actually
pretty
sell
good.
pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
from what I've heard. The Jurassic Park line,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he says, "Glad you got the Cringer."
Yeah. 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 John Grisham.
Okay, A
His
Time to
books,
Kill.
he's a good writer. I used to read a lot of novels like that.
Hmm.
John Grisham and Stephen King are two of the best, I guess, modern day, you would say,
Hmm.
writers. They're good at description. They make you like see whatever they're describing in here. Like if you read John Grisham's Bleachers, he's describing a Friday night football game to where you can actually hear the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he describes it so well. And the same with Stephen King. He'll take 3 pages to describe a lampshade, and you're like, man, if you can't get it, if you don't understand what he's talking about, something wrong with you. But I like writers like that. And I read Jane Austen. She doesn't describe anything. Her writing style is different.
Hmm.
She don't give you any description about like what the person looked like or anything. She doesn't describe stuff, but she just give you like the story of what's going on and the emotion of it. But I don't know.
Oh well.
I think he's talking about the
Cartoon
cartoon collection
collection.
prints.
It's too many collections. It's too many collections, too many lines, too many this, too many
Oh,
that. It's
I
frustrating.
don't know what that means now. Now you're saying cartoon collection. What's that?
The filmation style,
Oh, not the
not the
origins.
origins, filmation style.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about now. I don't have that.
DC says James Brolin and Ronnie Cox starred in the car.
James Brolin. I know that name. What
Yeah,
else did he
and
play? Hey
there's
Thor.
Thor.
Just got home.
Oh, yeah, we showed the Marvel Legends Odin on the last roundup. I
Yeah.
thought it had a kind of a Kirby vibe
Look up
myself.
a souped up version of He
Motu
Man.
He-Man, yeah. And which toy line sells best in our area? I don't know. I don't
Don't
really
look
pay
like
attention
nothing ever leaves
because
that shelf. I'm serious. I mean, if you go there, okay, like we said before, they took off all of the Marvel Legends, all of the McFarlanes. Is no McFarlanes, no Marvel Legends. You got a ton of Ninja Turtles.
yeah,
You
that
got
stuff
a
doesn't move at all.
you got some the Transformers. You have no Masters of the Universe at all.
Yeah,
You got a lot of
it's
the
all at Ollie's.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Funko, a smattering of NECA stuff.
yeah, just a little bit though. A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, it's not a lot of stuff. Mainly 6 or 12. Like
Well, I had
Mondo.
the Mondos, but I stopped getting them after too many were defective.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after that 40th anniversary He-Man, I was done.
Local Ross.
No,
No.
we have been a Ross
We
in a long
haven't been there
time.
for a while. We have went before, and they got more kitty toys than they do like stuff. Oh, he's Josh. Isn't Josh Brolin the guy that played
Sees
Thanos?
Meemaw. Meemaw.
He's the guy that plays Thanos.
I don't remember.
I think so.
I don't remember.
I heard the name, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
I just try to concentrate more on vintage. I've moved away from a lot of the new stuff. I really kind of stopped almost
okay,
altogether getting anything new
okay.
because I more often than not keep finding myself disappointed with it. Yeah, they're defective. There's some kind of problem. The prices keep going up. And I'm just like, it's at least with the vintage stuff, the price is kind of where it is,
All Music is gonna send us some pictures, so I know what
Okay.
he's talking about. Cause now I got confused after when Randall said that it was a cartoon version. So now I got confused. You can find it on YouTube, but in the '90s USA networks, we made accent really
Titled The
entitled Trucks.
Trucks,
I think I saw
says
that,
C. Reed.
which close to the short story that Stephen King. I know I saw Trucks and I know I saw Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Um, so I probably saw both of them, and cause they did feel like they were similar. Oh yeah, David got this.
Bringing this back around, I got this at the Joe Fest. I already showed it in the Joe Fest video, but
Mhm.
this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. And of course, that is the Fisher Price Adventure People Wheelie Dragster, because you can't find anything. Look at that artwork. You
Yeah,
can't
that's some
find
good artwork.
anything Fisher Price Adventure People still sealed. It's just a great toy line, and it's a really unique toy line. There's a handful, like the Fisher Price Adventure People, the Fisher Price Little People, which is the Little Peg People. Some of those were connected to a franchise and some were not. This had no franchise. There's no comic. There's no cartoon show. There's nothing. There's nothing. But man, these were popular. This was popular stuff, and really early incarnation of 3 3/4 inch figures. The Star Wars figures were based off of these, and it's underrated. Really, really underrated. A lot of people looking for these now, looking for this kind of stuff. Box a little beat up, but he's still sealed in there,
Yeah.
and that's just so unique. And I have a handful of Fisher Price Adventure People pieces. Um, if I can find a good deal on them, I'll try to get it. I do my best, but it's a great example. Like, oh, what's the other one? The Playmobil,
Mm-hmm.
Playmobil Little People, little action figures, no franchise. There's
Mm.
no TV show. There's no comic book. Nothing connected to those. Those are very affordable though. The
Oh man.
Playmobiles are very affordable. Not these. The Adventure People have been steadily going up in price. Munin says, after hearing about the recent issues with Super 7 cutting corners and the problems you've had with Mondo, I can see why you would stick with vintage. Yeah, vintage is what it is.
Yeah. Cringer was made. It was made by the Maddie Club. They had
Yes.
two. They had Queen Marlena.
And Cringer's
In
like
Cringer,
laying in the bottom of the
yeah, he's
package.
laying in the
Mhm.
bottom. You can't see him, but it's two. Is one with her in her queen outfit, and she has Cringer, and then
Mhm.
it's one with her as the astronaut, because she was an astronaut that came from Earth and crashed on Eternia,
Yes.
and Cringer's in both of them. So that's the only two times Cringer was made, but he was made, not originally, unless you take off Battle Cat's outfit,
Yeah.
his headdress. But yeah, he was made like that, which didn't make any sense. They should have put him with Prince Adam, but they did do Prince Adam with Orko, but Prince Adam is laying down and you can't see him. So they have Orko and then Prince Adam laying at the bottom and you can't
Yeah.
see him at all. So I don't know what the point of that was. Yeah, that's the Evil Knievel. That's the only Evil Knievel you got, right?
Yeah, I had a whole carded series
Mm.
from Ideal, and this is all that's left, because that was all swiped as well, boxed and carded.
No, no.
Evil Knievel. He's a bendy action figure.
Oh, okay.
But that's all that's
Okay,
left.
yeah. Evil Knievel we have.
And that give you an idea of the type of quality of packaging I had. Because back when I was getting this stuff in the 90s, this is like $20.
Oh, he's a statue? Oh, okay. So the princess, I keep saying princess, Queen Marlena. He's not joining. I don't know, because I don't open nothing. Yeah. But okay, I didn't realize it was more like a statue. I thought it was a action figure.
Figurine then.
Okay, well, he gonna be right there, because I didn't know. So they never. Okay, yeah, I got you now. They never did it because That one's a statue. Okay, cool. Well,
Rock On. Yeah, she's got Stone Dar and Rock On the card from the original carded series.
mm,
Who asked that?
that was David.
Okay, yeah, she's got the Stone Dar and the Rock On from the 80s.
Oh, okay. You know what? I was thinking about modular because I was thinking about that box.
Yeah,
But yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. The boss truck from Maximum Overdrive is my favorite
Meemaw says.
Green Goblin figure.
Well, he has a big Green Goblin face on the front of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And William says the new cartoon collection Cringer is super articulated, better than the Origins Battle Cat.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I'll look for that then. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
DC says, what 90 Toys line do you think is going to be the next hot collectible or tough to obtain?
I don't know because it's so many that still haven't gone up.
XL Squad is going up.
Oh, yeah, that's over $100.
That's been getting expensive. XL Squad figures.
Jason the Wheel of Warriors are very expensive.
That's 80s.
That came out in the 80s?
That's 80s.
That's a good show if you've never seen it.
Yeah, it is. Earthworm Jim is a sleeper, I think.
Wildcats.
You think Wildcats? Because we did the video of the 90s figures, but I think Earthworm Jim is a sleeper there.
I think Swamp Thing is a sleeper because that's a really nice set and it's dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the Shadow.
Oh, from Kenner, yeah, the Shadow line.
I have the Shadow line, and people sleep on those things.
And Swamp Thing.
Yeah, Swamp Thing is a sleeper.
That's starting to inch up. The figures are starting to inch up on the Swamp Thing.
Yeah, the figures toy Evil Knievel is nice. I don't think I've ever seen from the
name.
Evil Knievel one.
Yep. Yeah. Because well, I don't. She has some figures toy. She's got the Figures Toy Company, Twilight Zone.
Yeah, the Twilight Zone collection. And no, that's Diamond Select.
Yep. Yeah. The Diamond Select, Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
But they're very similar. The Meagle-like. Meagle-like.
It's like your favorite.
Meagle style of action figures.
Another one that's creeping up also is the animated series Batman toys. Yeah, that one is slowly rising. Yeah, that's slowly going up. You can still find them in the $20 range, sometimes cheaper if you go to a show, but they're starting to pick up. So if you see them, try and pick them up when you can because they are inching up.
You'll notice also it's cheaper to get them in lots. Yeah. If you can find a lot, and you might end up getting the same figure a couple of times over, and you can just sell your own lot later, I guess. But it's always cheaper finding that stuff in lots. Like the Skeleton Warriors, I got all but one piece in a single lot for cheap at the Retro Toy Swap.
Some of the Gundam figures go for silly prices.
They can. Robert says, what's the next pickup? You planning getting more Evil Knievel? They're stupid expensive now. I don't know if I can.
Mummies Alive.
Mummies Alive is still cheap. There's a lot of them. We made a lot of examples when we did those videos. We did 70s, 80s, and 90s figures.
Pirates of Dark
Water.
Stuff may ride the post-public domain wave of material. Lots of customs right now.
It says Meemaw.
Yeah.
Shadow stuff. But yeah, the Kenner Shadow is still very affordable. Based on the movie.
Yeah.
Not the movie.
Not the serials from the 40s.
Yeah, they're surprisingly inexpensive.
And they pop up every so often. We'll see them at shows every so often.
Yes, they do turn up, and they're usually very, very cheap.
Beetlejuice is getting up there.
Yeah, well, the speculation now.
Because they got a new cartoon.
It sat on the bottom for a long time.
A new movie coming out.
So that's starting to inch it back up. It'll probably bottom out after the film. It depends on how the film does.
Yeah, because I was collecting that, and you don't see it too often. Sometimes you go to the show, you'll find something, but not too often.
Munin wants to know if either of us ever completed an entire collection buying one lot. I don't think so.
Not one lot.
No,
You got to buy a couple
all at
lots.
once. No, I don't think
Mm-mm.
so.
Not
Not
one
haven't
lot.
been that lucky.
Mm-mm. Nah, I got a couple completed lines, but you had to go around a couple of times. But I will buy lots, and then I just pull out the duplicates and, sell those or something. But no, not in one swing. It'd be
Yeah,
nice.
it make things a little easier.
Yeah, it will. But you know, you find them where you can.
Yeah,
Um, but when you do find lots, especially at shows, and then you buying a bunch at one time, sometimes you'll get good deals
yeah.
because
Like I
people
said,
want to get rid of them all at once.
again, the Skeleton Warriors, he had everything but one piece, not counting variants, because there are variants
Yeah.
in the Skeleton Warriors, which I showed in that video.
Hmm.
But he had all of the whole basic lineup minus one, and
Yeah.
that's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
And then at the Joe Fest, Seth just happened to have that cycle that I
Yeah.
needed,
The
and
last
that was
piece.
like the only Skeleton Warriors thing at the show. I don't think I
Hmm.
saw another one.
No, we didn't. And then from Seth, that's how I started my Exo Squad, and he had like almost a whole first wave, except for I think two figures. So the first wave came with like six figures,
Hmm.
and I think he had five because it was one from like a wave two or something like that. So that's how I got a bunch of those at once. But if I can find a lot, I'd rather buy them at a show or something like that, so you don't have to pay the tax and the shipping.
You don't have to worry about shipping.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the shipping because you can just get them and take them
Hmm.
home instead of having it go through the whole rigmarole of the post office and getting thrown and all of that. How about Mezco Dick Tracy?
Robert wants to know. They look good, but I don't have any, so I
Mm,
can't tell you. And again, I stopped doing Mezco too because
yeah,
I had some problems with them. But I've done a lot of reviews on Mezco, and so they're hit or miss. Sometimes they really knock it out of the park, and sometimes you get it, and you're like, "What is this?
yeah,
What are you doing?"
yeah,
Dick Tracy figures? I don't think so. Based on the movie, the Playmates Dick Tracy, they never move. They're usually really cheap, except for that one figure. There's
yeah.
one figure that's like $1,000, and
Really?
yeah, the blank.
Hmm.
I
I know
think
you said that one was expensive, but I didn't know it was
yeah,
that expensive.
it's ridiculous.
Oh
And then the
wow.
rest of them you can find them at the shows for like $10. Yeah, Robert Hood, Prince of Thieves are cheap,
Mm,
cheap 80s figures.
Hook figures. I never
Hmm.
saw that movie. That's with Robin Williams.
Yeah,
I
those are
never saw
cheap.
that.
Waterworld, I
Oh.
think is cheap, except for the vehicles. DC says Toy Vault's Lord of the Rings figures before the movies are a bargain. Check them out.
I'm looking up Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys because
Those are cheap.
we're
Yeah,
watching that cartoon, and it's a funny, goofy cartoon.
it
And
makes a lot of sci-fi references
yeah,
and a
yeah.
lot of other references. Like they have this crew. They have the red shirt crew, and they die every episode. They come out and they get killed. And in one episode, the two of them looked and sounded like Beavis and Butthead and got killed because that's a running gag. But they make fun of every sci-fi TV show and movie you can think of.
Yeah, they do. That cycle was put there for you. It was meant to be
I guess so, David. I sure hope so. Because
because he sure got it.
that's the one I needed. And I was like, hey, Seth, and he gave me a real good deal on that too. Sasquatch
Yeah,
toys.
they're
But
quite. Yeah,
he's good to work
yeah,
with.
yeah.
He's good to work with.
K Munin, I'm with you 100% with
Yeah.
the price. And then see the thing that gets me with Super Seven, like I feel like I want to be done with them,
Yeah.
but with their Thundercats, they're making figures that hasn't
Never
been
been
done,
done.
and that's what always get me because I like Thundercats.
Mm.
The original Thundercats are like way out there. I mean,
The
by yeah,
LJNs. Yeah.
and then I don't like the way the LJNs look anyway. So I wouldn't want those because I really don't like the way they look. But then Super 7 has made so many characters that LGN never made.
Yes.
So then you're like, okay, I'm getting figures that were never made. But then for me, I don't get so tied up on quality because I never take mine out the box. But what made me mad, they quit putting the slip cover. We no longer get outer boxes now. So now you got all of these things, but you still want the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if you wait about a good 2 more months, it's going to be more.
And that's what Munin is saying there for the price, Mezco, Mondo, whatever. There shouldn't be hit or miss. And that's
No.
like I did the reviews, like I did the review of the Dark Side figure from Mezco. And I was like, this is actually kind of a cool figure. And he's heavy too, because he got die cast parts and his face lights up and he does all this stuff. And I was like, the articulation's not bad for a bulky figure. This is great. Then they do the Hulk. They do the Gladiator Hulk figure. And I'm like, the color of the plastic's not even consistent. His face, arms, and torso are 3 different colors, 3 different shades of green. He can't move. What the hell have you done? What are you doing with this? And he was expensive.
Yeah.
And then the Ghostbusters set, terrible. It's the worst set they ever made.
That's when they made that 4-pack, right?
There's a 4-pack. That sucker retail was like $300 on that thing.
Wow.
And then their elbows don't bend. They only bend. They're single jointed elbows. The costume's too bulky, so their arms won't raise up, so they can't get their proton packs. The LED lights don't work. The packs, they made the straps out of vinyl. They don't fit.
Oh,
you can't put the packs on them. I was like, God, these are awful. They did a terrible job.
Oh, wow.
Then Nosferatu comes out, and it's like, wow, this is a decent figure. Or Popeye. I love the Popeye.
It's like they're made in different factories.
I don't know what the hell they're doing. But it's like every other figure, it's like, wow, this is a piece of crap. And then the next one is, wow, this is pretty good. Make up your mind. There's some consistency. I couldn't take it anymore. Plus all their other problems.
Yeah.
The fight that I had over that poster, because they never gave me my poster with the Death Dealer.
Yeah.
Was supposed to come with a poster, and they kept insisting it's in your package. I was like, I'm telling you, it ain't there. And it was like all of our figures came with a poster.
Except
the
for
poster
yours.
the poster is in your box. Check your box again. I think I know if there's a big cardboard tube in the box. Thank you. And then when I messaged them back again, I did an unboxing, a review of this from scratch on my channel. Maybe you should go look at it. And then the next, like 5 minutes later, I get an email. We'll send you a poster right away. They didn't even look. They were just like, oh, crap. He already did a review.
Because if I have a problem, and I never had a problem except for with 3-0. 2 times something didn't come with my figure.
3-0, a hand was missing.
Yeah, like but it was 2 times. I did the unboxing first, so then I emailed them, hey, I didn't get this, and I got an unboxing for my YouTube channel to show that I didn't mess with it, and you can see it from the beginning before I put it on YouTube. Oh, we'll send you out something tomorrow.
Yeah.
You always got to lead with got a YouTube channel.
I was already like upset with them anyways because of that whole fiasco with that other figure.
The police.
The police actually had to get involved. It's crazy. If you ever seen that, it's an older video. They sent it to the wrong address and insisted that I got it. And I was like, you mailed this to an address in another state. I don't have this. You did not send this to me. I don't know who the hell you sent this to. And they refused to do anything. And I called the police in that city because they took the package.
Yeah, they signed for it.
They signed for it. It was signed for, and they signed my name. and that was the thing, because it was Federal Express delivered it. And FedEx was like, yeah, we got your signature on here. Like, I didn't sign anything. And it was like, well, you should probably call the police. So I called the police. They went to the guy's house, and then they called me back. And they were like, hey, we just went to the address, and we talked to the guy, And get this, he told us the FedEx driver forced him to sign your name to this because it's a digital pad. He forced him. He was like, "We don't care. We just need a signature. Sign this name on there." And, and I was like, "Seriously?" The FedEx guy, "You better just take this package. Just sign this. I don't care, man." That didn't happen, you
No.
liar. But
Hey, Thomas.
and they brought it to FedEx and had them repackage it and send it to me. But Mezco didn't care.
No, they didn't. Hey, Thomas.
Thomas
Thomas is
Sawyer is
watching the
here.
Batman movie. I
Yay!
love that movie.
We thought that was pretty well done, actually.
Yeah, we actually did a review right after we saw it. We went to the movies and then did a review after it. Shocker Toys, Indie Spotlight comic book heroes, Dick Tracy ain't cheap. The whole line ain't cheap. The Tick, the Max.
The Tick,
and that's from Blind Robot.
Blind Robot. We see the Tick at
Yeah,
the
we see
shows
him
all
around.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Modern stuff never runs out. It's meant to take over your house. That's why you become a hoarder, because you see all of these things and you want it, and you got to make it fit. What are your opinions on crowdfunding toys? I think it's ridiculous that large toy companies do this. I kind of understand it for mom and pop producers. Oh, you mean like Hasbro and stuff like that? I've done the crowdfunding for a small, like you said, mom and pop.
Yeah.
I did it once for a mom and pop, but them big ones, like I know David bought the Hasbro Pulse a couple times. You bought those, but I don't know. I guess it's a way to not overproduce, because you don't want to make 10,000 figures and only 1,000 people want it, and then it becomes it goes to Ollie's, or you know you don't make enough and then it's something everybody wants because it's one of those.
See, so here's what I'm talking about. There's
it.
your there right there. Playmates Dick Tracy sold auctions, seven sealed figures, 7 different $81 sold on bids. The whole completed auctions is full of things like this. I'm not seeing there Dick Tracy The Influence sold for $10. The Brow sold for $18 individually. Flap Top sold for $17. This guy has a complete set of 13 that sold for $320. You know, look at the completed auctions. They don't sell for a lot, except for the blank, and the car usually goes for over $100. But the blank is like stupid expensive. Here's 6 of them that sold for $53.
Oh, that's good.
Mint on the card. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't. And the Tick is the same way. I'm pretty sure the Playmates Tick is pretty cheap too.
Yeah. Severus likes the crowdfunding. It's like pre-orders. It's the current model, and you see that with everything.
Oh no, it was Bandai, wasn't it?
I
think Bandai made the Tick, not Playmates.
The crowdfunding. I'm
saying it wrong.
I mean, not crowdfunding, pre-orders. I don't mind pre-orders. It's just that now it feels like the pre-orders are so long. It's like, you order it today and then like 2 years later you get your product, and it's like, okay, you taking so long to make the product or get it produced, but then we still got all of these quality control issues. If it's taking that long, you shouldn't have all these issues. You shouldn't have all these paint issues. The feet shouldn't fall off. You shouldn't have all of these problems because it took you 2 years. It's not like you pre-order it here in June and I got it in October. Then I can say, okay, yeah, y'all probably rushed it. That's why we got all these quality control issues. But it's not that. That's not the case. You order it here in June, and then it comes out June 2027.
Yeah.
So,
and that was that's what killed me with the Mondo also, because when that figure broke in half, when I took it out of the package, I was like, that's it. The figure was like $300.
Yeah.
With the and here's the Tick Bandai, a complete set of 13 sold for 100. Mint on the card. Just to make the point, I'm not just pulling numbers out of a hat here.
Yeah. Robert likes the 3-0 for the most part. They have pretty good stuff. I've had good dealings with them. I got their Ninja Turtles and I have their Transformers, and I never had a problem with any of them. They all pretty good to me. I only crowdfund the Tommy DeLorean, supposed to come out in October.
Crap. I don't think I've done a crowdfund.
I did a crowdfund
Well,
from them
no.
Bible figures.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you did the Hasbro, the
the
Pulse.
what's his name? Galactus.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did that.
I did the Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Galactus. I did a review of it. I thought that the bonus figures were crap though. I did not like them.
Mm. Thomas just picked up the Lion Rock War Heroes, British soldier and the Navy soldier. I never heard of them. I want to get the Sergeant Rock from GI
Those are
Joe.
like they're like Meagle like, right? Aren't they on like a big flimsy card?
Mm.
They're oh, how big are they? They're like Meagle like, right?
Um.
They yeah, it's like so big
Mm-hmm.
on a like the LJNs back here, something like that, right?
Not Robert. David wants to pick up the Killer Tomatoes in the Police Academy. Don't you have Police
I
Academy
don't have
figures?
Police Academy.
Oh,
I never did
oh,
actually. I never had the Police Academy based on the cartoon show.
oh! It's not based on the movie.
No, it's not based on the movie. It's
Oh,
based
okay.
on the like Saturday morning cartoon.
Mm,
As are the Killer Tomatoes, not based on the movie, but based on the cartoon.
yeah,
Newman says having to wait years for pre-orders is unacceptable. It's worse when after waiting all that time, it's still loaded with quality control
yeah, and that's
issues.
what we're talking about. It's like you took that on. So what were you doing all that time? Because you wasn't working on these figures. If the
No.
paint is still rubbing off in the package, and you got broken pieces and missing parts. So something went wrong. I remember ordering the Mesco 5-point Batman
Hmm.
66 set. No production updates. 2 years later, it arrived.
Hey, at least you got it, because that's why I gave up on Big Chief. Although Big Chief went bankrupt,
Yeah.
but the Doctor Who, they they were delayed for so long that the oh, what agency was it? Federal law required them to give me a refund
Mm.
because it had been more than 2 years because it was overseas.
I hate pre-orders. Rather buy them in it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I said that I'm gonna start doing. Just wait for them to come out. Maybe sometimes the prices will be down even after after that. Um, but no, no.
oh, you're the one. Yeah, Dave.
But
Yeah, it was mentioned on the Facebook. He said the rogue from Mondo Arms snapped on me. That the the
yeah, I remember you
one
telling me
sixth,
about that.
and haven't seen an email for a replacement yet. Ooh wee.
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
You must be the only one,
So
because
they,
when that He-Man, they jumped on that He-Man quick, but then it was a lot of
I'm
people.
sure there's others, but the He-Man, it was like nearly half of them had a defect. It
Mm,
was really bad. And that was
mm.
the, like I said, the third one in a row that had defects, because they had trouble. Well, fourth really, because there's two versions of the Hordak, because
Oh,
it was Hordak, second Hordak, She-Ra, and then that one. And it's just like, that's it. That's too much. William said Mattel Creations doing pre-order super fast in about a week.
oh, okay, that's
Really.
good.
And Thomas says Lion Rock figures are 7-inch, unlike the Migos, and are on the flimsy card stock. Okay, yeah, so I kind of, they're tough to come by though. Still on
Mm,
the card anyway.
okay, he said it too.
He said the same thing.
The clothes are not interchangeable.
Oh
Interchangeable.
no! Robert says he got the '66 Batman set. It's a good set.
Okay.
Okay. The 5 points of
Yeah, the
articulation
Mezco
Mezco
five
line,
five star,
five
whatever they
star,
call it.
five something or other, five this, five that, five the same thing that everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm awful.
Mm-hmm.
All Music says he loves Batman 66 lines by Mattel and McFarlane. McFarlane's been doing a bunch of them. In
Yeah.
the like
On the
his are like
card.
7-inch too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't have.
been. I don't know if he done it on. I know he does them in the box.
He does it on the card
Oh, he does it
for
on the
the
card too
Batman
for the
66
Batman.
stuff. Yes. I don't have any McFarlane figures.
I have
She
a
has a
couple.
couple.
Yeah,
She
I
has a
have a
couple.
couple.
She's got the Swamp Thing, and she's got a couple
The
of
Dead
others.
Man.
Someone sent her the Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
That was a gift.
That was a gift. And it's with my Swamp Thing figures.
Yeah.
Right now I can see it from
with
here.
it's with the Kenner Swamp Things.
And I have the Scarecrow, the Dead Man figure, and
Did you get the Demon?
The Demon.
Yeah.
And the Demon figure. Those are the ones that I have.
And you need a dead. Oh no, who did you need?
I need
Spectre.
I need the Spectre and Grifter. The Grifter figure. He did that.
Oh yeah,
because
that's right.
Grifter crossed into the. I don't know how he got into
out of Image and into
DC line,
somehow.
and he was in one of the Flashpoint animated cartoons.
That's right.
He was only in there for like a second, but when the Flash got to the I don't know, the multiverse or wherever he went back in time, they ran into like a bunch of people, and Grifter was one of them. And I'm like, how did he get into the DC cartoons? But somehow he got there. I'm reading his comics too, and they're pretty good. Yeah, he's a interesting character. I'm reading his right now. I'm on EC Comics because I have
reprints.
Yeah, because God knows I can't afford the original, so the reprints are just as good as the same story, same pictures.
From who made those graphic? I'm trying to remember.
Who made what? The EC one?
Made the reprints.
EC did, because you got an EC reprint.
There was no more EC.
Oh, I don't know
but somebody picked up the licenses all.
Yeah.
Mutant says McFarlane just pumps stuff out left and right.
Yeah,
they all do.
Yeah, but at least his stuff makes it to the store quick. So I mean, that's one thing.
He does get it to the store.
He got on everybody else. His store. I mean, he doesn't. I'm not gonna say he doesn't do pre-order, because you got to go online for some stuff. But the majority of it, the bulk of it, actually makes it to the store. You can see it on the shelf. The Mezco 66 figures have rubber capes, like the Mego. Okay.
The Mego Pocket Heroes are ridiculous.
Are they?
Well, first of all, the scale is off because they're 3-inch. They're roughly like 3-inch, right? And they're the ones that have like the arm that's like this, so it looks like they're holding themselves.
I don't think he did Phantom Stranger. I don't think anybody did.
Dr. Fate. He did Dr. Fate, didn't he?
Not Phantom Stranger though.
Not Phantom. Did he do Phantom Stranger?
I don't know.
I don't know
because I lost track. Because like I said, in our Walmart,
I'm not sure.
They don't have a lot of McFarlane stuff. Now they don't have any at all. And when they did, they didn't have like a whole lot. But when you go to the shows, you can find like every one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look, but the majority of the times I don't. But sometime I will if it's like sitting where you can see it. But it's usually so many of them, you can actually just stand there and read the side of the box.
And it's in that shady section of the like show that you don't want to go into because it's all modern stuff. It's all Marvel Legends, and it's all stuff that's hanging on the pegs right now.
Like that.
And then you say like, you try to get a deal and you can't. It's like, anywhere else you go, it's like, hey, and you bundle stuff. Can we do something with this? And like, yeah, let me see. And then you go to the guys that's got the modern stuff. They get all the Star Wars Black Series stuff and all the Marvel Legends and all the McFarlane toys. And you come up with $305 worth of stuff and say, can we do something with this? I'm like, I might could do 300 on it.
That happened to me at the show. That man pissed me off. So I just set everything down and walked off. Cause he is literally packing up.
Do I know what I'm talking about or what?
Yeah, he was literally packing up. I think 3 figures.
Oh man.
I think 3 figures. And it came up to like $105. I said, I want to get all of these. Will you do a deal? Yeah, $100. No, he looked at it. Got to flip it around. How about $100? I'm like, dude,
what was
it's
it,
105.
I know.
Where's the deal?
And he's got to do a Peter Griffin on you.
Yeah.
Peter Griffin when he skins his knee on the show.
Yeah, he did all that. Then he got to flip it in his hand and do all of that. I'm like, dude, I don't want no $5 deal. That's not a deal. Anyway,
Oh my God. William wants to know why Migo did pocket heroes in dirty positions. He never noticed when I was because when you were a kid, you wouldn't notice.
no, you ain't
You
thinking about
you don't
that.
think about that kind of stuff. It flies over your head. Oh yeah, they did Constantine, didn't he,
I
McFarlane?
don't know, cause like I said, I can't keep track of the McFarlane stuff because they're not in
Yeah.
Walmart. And when I go to the show, I'm not thinking about McFarlane.
Thomas wants to know if we got goodies at GoFest. We got
Yeah,
some
we
stuff.
did.
I just shown this
Mm-hmm.
because I got this there, and Carlos hooked me up with that.
Yes.
Carlos was on Plastic Crack.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
okay.
one of those
I didn't
guys.
know. I
He's
didn't
one of
know
the
he was
Plastic
on
Crack
that.
guys with Justice Curry. But yeah, I got this there. Still sealed in the box. The Wheelie Dragster from Fisher Price Adventure People. I love that line. It's such a cool line. And I got the very last piece I needed for Skeleton Warriors. And then she got a bunch of stuff. She got comics and all kinds of stuff. She came home
Yeah.
with bags and bags.
I did because I always wanted a 1/6 scale Universal Monster set, and I
Yeah.
wanted the sideshow. And one of our mutual friends, had like 6 Universal Monsters,
Yeah.
and I asked him to bundle it up and give me a deal, and he gave me a really good deal because I was gonna just go on eBay and buy them, one by one,
Yeah.
and pay the tax and the shipping.
And he bundled it and didn't want $5 off. He gave her a bang up deal
Yeah,
to sell the whole
to
lot.
sell a whole lot.
Plus, it's the end of the show. You don't want to pack
Yeah.
those up and take them home.
So, and I'm like, man, I told him, I was like, I had like the majority of these were in my watch list on eBay because I was just gonna pick them off, once a month, buy one until I got them all done. But I like the Universal Monsters, and I wanted a good 1/6 scale set, and the sideshow ones aren't that expensive. Yeah. He's asking if the black
Hank wants
holes.
to know, are you talking about the ones that are up here? Those are the Mego 12.5-inch black hole figures that were made in the 70s. And actually, the 12.5-inch line, not very expensive. The 3 3/4-inch ones are very expensive. They can get,
that's over there. You can't see them.
I have a couple of them over here hanging on the wall, like this. These are the 3 3/4-inch ones that are. It's articulated like on a raw GI Joe.
Oh, let
really.
me move this, and we'll come back to your can
But
unit.
These the carded versions can be quite expensive by comparison. These were done in 1979. But then the deluxe ones, for whatever reason, they there's a joke that goes around that the advertisement where these figures are all like standing together,
yeah,
is the only time they've ever been unboxed. Because you always find them in the box. So if you were interested in a line like that, you can get these fairly cheap and sealed. You just have to watch out for zombie figures, because all I don't know how well you can tell, mine are pretty clean. Most like of the deluxe 12.5-inch Mego figures from all of the different lines, Moonraker, Star Trek, the motion picture, whatever, the faces turn super gray. Or even the Buck Rogers, they turn super gray because the plastic is bad. So hunt for them in really good condition, but you can get them for a good price. Like this one, the my Buck Rogers is pretty clean. See, there's the Buck Rogers, and you can see it. That one you can see it a little better that he's not gray. Usually they're so gray they look like an old pencil eraser.
Yeah, they look like a zombie.
It's really bad, and that is Gil Gerard's signature. Actually, he signed this for me. But and even he said it. He was like, "Where the hell did you find this? This one is about as clean as the one they gave me." when because Migo gave him a set as a gift when they produced these figures,
Oh,
and
that
he
was
was like, "Mine's
nice.
in the closet, and it looks like this." Because usually when he sees them, they look terrible.
Yeah. Watching your video, some of these vendors have hundreds of Hasbro, Mattel, and McFarlane. Most of it is half price or less. Sometimes, depending on which figures it is, many folks will say McFarlane is trash, but his figures like Cyborg Superman sells out quick, and those McFarlane figs, the popular ones, sell for a stupid amount of money. I know that Spectre is two of them. One of them, the metallic-y like one, sells for a lot.
Hmm.
So I won't get that one. I'll get the regular one. I like
William
McFarlane
likes,
superpowers.
yeah.
They're pretty neat. I'm cherry picking the ones I want. Yeah, I'm only getting the superpowers vehicles. That's it. I don't want the carded figures. I just want the
And
vehicles.
Thomas said, "Did we get the Skeleton Warrior chop?" Yeah, that's the last piece I needed,
Yeah.
and I did find it at the Joe Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert says the last decent Mego Pocket Heroes was Superman the movie figures. They actually looked good. Superman, Zod, Lex Luthor, and Jor-El. They did those in 12.5 inch too
Oh, okay.
for the film. Yeah, those turned gray too. And David says he was close to going on the superpowers, but I said nope, ain't gonna happen.
I really like that chopper. It's heavy and sturdy. Really impressed with it.
Okay,
Okay.
the Skeleton Warriors.
David one in the box.
Eric says the museum looks nice and stocked. Do you make room to display all your new pieces? Well, we rotate.
Yeah, we rotate them out.
Yeah, we rotate stuff because only so much space,
No,
you know,
no.
still. Robert says that Maximilian and the other robot, Vincent,
Vincent.
uh, come in large scale because they did Maximilian, they did the guard, they did the humanoid, they did Vincent, they did old Bob in the 3 3/4 inch in the 1/18 scale.
Mm-hmm.
That line is only humans.
Mm.
However,
However.
in Italy, they did Maximilian and Vincent.
Mm.
So you can find Italian versions if you can afford it.
Oh.
That's where you're going to get real crazy expensive. These are not very expensive for whatever reason.
So they would be in your cheap video, your cheap 70 video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just not the 3 3/4 inch.
I mean,
Those
but
were
the big
expensive.
ones,
But
the big ones.
the big ones, yeah, you can still find them for a decent price.
Okay.
But the Italian versions,
Not so much.
no.
Hank loves the McFarlane. He has 8 different versions of Batman.
Batman. There's a million versions of Batman.
I know, and Superman. But Batman is like the one they do the most. It seems like. Super 7 recently did Black Hole. They look
reaction.
good. Yeah, the reaction figures.
Yeah.
I like the reactions. I did get their the Sesame Street and the Richard Scarry. I did because I mean Richard Scarry. How much
Richard Scarry is classic.
Figures do you see from Richard Scarry? I don't think nobody really did much of anything with him.
There's very little from Richard Scarry.
And I like that with the Sesame Street, they did characters again that they rarely ever do, like the TV host, the lefty
Guy Smiley,
lefty. Those two characters,
the Yip Yips.
Yeah. The Yips. I used to be scared of them as a kid. I did. They did scare me when I was a kid. I did not like those figures. I mean, not figures, those characters.
Puppets, yeah.
Yeah, those puppets when I was a kid. I didn't. I never.
Telephone. The one with the phone is classic because they thought the phone was a creature, and they wanted to communicate with it. So when it would ring, then they try to ring back at it. Ring. Telephone. Oh no.
Oh no. I wish I could watch those. I know you got a bunch on.
Got it on.
Disc.
I have Sesame Street old school on disc.
You ain't
'Cause
got every single
you
one.
can't get every episode. It just can't be done.
It can be done.
No one is gonna. They did like 280 episodes a
I
year
know.
since
They
1969.
can put it out by year.
That's a lot of discs. that would cost a fortune.
They can give you a thumb drive.
We're getting
Zip
to
file.
that. We're getting to that point.
Zip file.
We're getting to that point. But yeah, shows like that and
Or just
Electric Company and Mr. Rogers, because all they can do is highlights. Like I've
yeah.
got the Electric Company,
Mhm.
and I've got the Sesame Street Old School Volume 1 and 2, and they
Yeah.
show all the classic shorts.
But you don't
And
know what the classics are.
yeah, you do. Ladybug Picnic,
Oh yeah, that Ladybug
the
Picnic.
pinball machine, the baker who falls down the stairs with the pies. 12 chocolate cream pies, and then he trips down the stairs and falls. And
I don't know. I think I know that one.
yeah, all of that kind of stuff that they showed over and over and over. And then the
Yeah.
classic sketches like
Yeah.
Grover singing Alphabet with the little kid and things like that are on those discs, because
Yeah.
I've watched them once before. Robert says he doesn't know who Richard Scarry
Oh
is.
no.
Oh,
How can you not know who Richard
I've got to
Scarry
go.
is? But he does have the reaction figure of Johnny Cash. We got a bunch of Richard Scarry books. Richard Scarry was an actual man, and he wrote children's books. And the name of it was Richard Scarry. And he had animal figures. And on my channel, because I do, like the Christmas specials, Halloween, and all of that, I did one. I think Richard Scarry Easter and Christmas, a couple of the Richard Scarry ones. But yeah, this is one of his books. But we got a bunch of his books. You find them at Goodwill all the time.
These books are fun, actually.
Yeah,
They're
and the
pretty fun.
cartoon is fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's very little merchandising
Yeah.
from this series.
Yeah, that's why I got the reaction.
Well, he made the deluxe one. He made the quarter scale figure too.
Yeah, he did make the
cat.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and they're recurring characters.
Yeah.
Because they live in this
live in
this little town together. And I was just like this cat right here is the one, I think. Is this the cat they did? I forget. They did one of the cats.
I think that's the main character. That cat is the main character.
See?
The cat, the pig.
I need a pickle car and a carrot car. I do. I don't have one. Just saying. But but they but yeah, when I saw that too, the quarter scale one, I was like, oh, I'd love to get that, but they're just too expensive.
Yeah,
honestly.
$300.
They're just too expensive.
Yeah,
just same as the Peanuts, because I love the Peanuts. I'm a fan of the original classic Peanuts, but I can get vintage stuff for less. It's crazy. William says, did Brian Freeman give a price point on the G.I. Joe or Raw O-ring figures? I know they're due to hit Target in October. No, I did not get a price from him on that. We didn't talk about that kind of stuff.
Is The Black Hole a good show? It was a movie.
The movie is fantastic.
Yeah, the movie was good.
I love it. The acting is stellar. And you've got what's his name, who was from Psycho. You have oh God, what is his name? I can't think of his name now. You've got the voice of Vincent. Who was the actor who played the voice of Vincent? Trying to remember. I try to remember the same guy who did Cornelius in Planet of the Apes. Oh
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know his name right now.
The musical score was really good. The it's the last film to have an overture in a movie.
Oh, really?
That was the last time an overture was ever done on film. It's it was at the very beginning when they show a grid map before they overlay and they go into space is the first time CGI was ever used or computer graphics were ever used in a movie. The first time.
Roddy McDowall.
Thank you, Roddy McDowall.
Thank you, Mima and Dr. Cohen. They told us that it was Roddy McDowell.
Okay.
Which one is your favorite show to attend? I don't know. I really don't. Because
I don't know either.
they're
Oh,
all
Ernest
good.
Borgnine. Ernest Borgnine was in it.
Was he?
Yeah, Ernest Borgnine was the mechanic.
Mm. I don't know, because they're all pretty good
And yeah,
in their
Maxim.
own way. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but that I can't remember the names of everybody that was in it. But yeah, I thought it was a really well done film. At the very end of it, it gets confusing
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of people when they go in the black hole, but because it gets kind of metaphoric,
Oh.
for lack of a better term. But it's really kind of a retelling of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Mm.
But it's really brilliantly shot. I liked the film.
You should do read along videos.
Read along of what?
The books we got.
Oh yeah,
You know what book is good? The Giving Tree.
that's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that's
It
a
is.
hard book to read.
Oh, Spider-Man. I think there might be in the Electric Company. Um, that's actually the first live-action Spider-Man.
That was the Spidey comics, right? From Electric Company.
No, it was a live-action guy.
Oh,
And he goes,
okay.
Spider-Man, where are you coming from? I think he's actually, before they even did the made-for-TV movies on
Mm-hmm.
ABC, I think that's the first live-action Spider-Man.
Mm. The same Roddy McDowell who
Yes,
played Bookworm.
yes, in the Batman 66.
Mm.
And DC said the ending of the black hole is awesome, real dark, like Event Horizon. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand what's happening there, and that's where I think they
It's traumatizing.
they lose it in the end of the film.
I don't know. I don't remember all that in the black hole. I know I saw it,
I don't
but
want to
I
give
don't
away too
really know
much if
what
you
that
haven't seen
movie
it.
was about though. So I don't. I don't think I was paying
Yeah,
attention good. I think that's before I started really paying attention to movies.
it's not a kids film.
Yeah, it's not a quick
No,
watch.
it's not a kids film at all.
Anthony Perkins was in the movie. That's the guy that played in Psycho.
Yeah, and Craig says haven't seen Black Hole since the theater, and the musical score is really good. Hank says he would love to see Disney do an updated 20,000. Oh, why?
Yeah,
So they could
okay.
kill it? So they can make you never want to see it again? William says you could start a story with David videos. Oh my God. That's a whole different channel.
Now that would have to be like a kids channel.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah,
massive
God, we got a
library of
big
children's
ton of
books.
children's, but
We really do.
yeah.
Lots of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't make the good, they
But
don't
we
do it
have
anymore.
talked about that before because we do have a bunch of Bernstein Bears. And we did talk about that before, like, showing the book, like, over your shoulder and then reading it.
But then, YouTube would label that for children, and then they'd burn my channel down. That's the problem. They would.
Yeah, it would. It would.
They
If you
would.
got them children's books, it's gonna be a children's
Yeah,
channel.
they'll burn the channel
You would
down
have
for
to
that.
do a whole nother channel for
Because
that. But we did talk about it.
yeah,
Though.
we did talk about that before.
Mm-hmm.
And Meemaw says Slim Pickens was awesome. Oh yeah, Slim Pickens did the voice of Old Bob.
Mm.
He was the voice.
I don't remember Black Hole that well to be even knowing what y'all
You liked
talking
Vincent.
about. Vincent was the red
The robot. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was snarky. And David says, yeah, the tick figures are cheap. Hey, you're way behind.
He had to go get something to drink. He just catching back up.
That was like a half an hour ago. Well, I just wanted, because I wanted to point out I'm not just making stuff up as I go here.
You remember information?
Huh? What kind of information?
Like when you used to call 0 on the phone, and then
411.
Well, where I was, it was 0, and then you had the person's name and where they lived, and then they would dial a number for you. Information. They don't do that no more.
No, they don't do that anymore. They don't do anything anymore. Craig says, hard to believe. Black Hole
that was a Disney film?
Yes, it was a Disney film.
Oh, I didn't know
It was a
that.
Disney production. They wanted to get away from, also part of the reason they did that film, get away from doing the type of films live action
Hmm.
that people knew them for.
Like red, old, yellow.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But
In
that's actually not a bad drama. But you know what they were being known for was Herbie the Love
oh
Bug,
yeah,
the
that
the
little girl.
the Cat from Outer Space,
Oh,
you know, stuff like that. The Cat from Outer Space hard to watch.
oh really?
But yes. But stuff like that they were doing, and they were like, let's do a real movie. Let's
Hmm.
do a real movie. Audiences didn't quite get it at the time, but you know, it's a cult classic now.
Oh, is it?
It is, because it was, when you go back and you look at it and you realize these are all practical effects. These are huge sets. These are model kits. And you look at the acting and the performances that are in this film, and you pay attention to the story, you're like, that was pretty damn good.
No.
And the music fits.
Hmm.
Robert says 20,000 Leagues and Mysterious Island, kind of sequels to each other, but not related, but sort of sequels. Mysterious Island,
Yeah, time and temperature. I remember that.
yeah, time and temperature on the phone. You could
Hmm.
call, they had a number for that.
Yeah, and you
Says
call and they
William.
tell you what time and what the temperature was.
I used to have that number memorized.
Me too.
Because you know what? If somebody asked you for your phone number and you didn't want to give it to them, you give them the phone number for
Time
like
and
time.
temperature.
And when they try to call it at the tone, the time will be
Yep.
8:47 and 35 seconds.
And the temperature is
72 degrees Fahrenheit.
the model for the Klingon ship.
Cygnus.
Cygnus is coming back as a reissue. There's a lot of anticipation for this.
Oh no.
What's a Klingon ship?
Cygnus.
Oh, well, whatever.
The Cygnus, the ship from the black hole.
Oh, do you have that ship?
No. That would be a tough one to get right. Because that was a big model that they built. That thing must have been 20 feet long.
Yeah, but you could
for the
skin
movie
it
shot.
down.
Yeah, you'll miss all the detail.
You think so?
That
Not
was
in this modern age with all that technology. And you get AI to build it for you.
Oh no. Oh.
What is all that?
That would. Oh, I don't want AI to build anything. I'm sick of AI.
See that?
Have more than enough of that already. Had more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
Quit trying to bring stuff back. Just appreciate what already was.
Sometimes it's all right.
I guess, but a lot of times when they try to bring it back, they muck it up. They make it bad. They screw it up, and it makes you mad. But you know, you still have the originals, and you can still appreciate the originals, even if they screwed up a remake or a sequel. David says one commercial you don't see on TV is military commercials like Marines or Army. Be all you can be. You don't see those anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know what killed it was in the early 2000s when they wanted to change the image.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in the movie theater there was a Marine commercial, and the plane lands, cargo plane, and the doors open up and all these Marines are running out, and they're all carrying aid packages.
Mm-hmm.
They're not armed at all, and it's like, are you sure this is the message you want to send for joining the Marines? Or,
okay.
David says he's posted a new video on his channel today of his collection. Okay,
That's David Whitehead Arcade and Toy Channel, not David Michael,
Whitted.
not Blue Splash. So
Whited.
Yeah. Or Whited. I said
Mhm.
Whitehead. Whited.
Yeah.
They had one a couple of years ago. I think it was for like the Air Force. Telling you, you can join and get college money
Mm-hmm.
and all of this. And then they did the campaign a few years ago where the kid is in the military uniform telling his parents that he joined the Air Force or whatever. But it's not like the same where they showed you like kind of in combat in battle on the battleship. Saying, oh, you can be all of these things in the military.
I remember the 80s commercial. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. We don't look for experience. We give it. Be all that you can be.
Oh,
Those days are over.
I read, yeah,
Thomas is saying about
yeah.
Mego,
I think I saw that.
the Mego Hawkman.
Yeah, the
You can't
wings do look kind of weird.
you can't do that right with a figure like that because it's a cheap figure anyways. It's
Well,
gonna be cheap no matter what you do.
and his wings are always kind of exposed, so you can't kind of hide it and then clip it on. You know what I mean?
He's got to strap him down. Like
Yeah,
who
I
remembers
think I
that?
saw that, and it looked real weird. It didn't look like wings. It looked
Mhm.
like something else.
Who remembers when they used to do that in X-Men in the Silver Age? And Angel,
Mm-hmm.
and he would like somehow he had wings
Write
that
that
had like a
down.
20-foot wingspan,
Oh
but
wow.
somehow they would compress down and he'd put on like this belt under his shirt to hold them down, and he looked normal because of some belt that was strapped around his chest. Who remembers that they used to do that in X-Men? Didn't make any damn sense.
David Whited Arcade
Arcade and Toy Channel. He says toys and movies and stuff.
and
Stuff.
Toy Channel.
And stuff.
So I'm gonna watch that.
Are
See
you?
what his Yeah, see he said he got a new
Okay.
of his collection. See
No,
what
I'm
his
teasing.
collection is.
Because yeah, sure, check it out.
'Cause
Anytime if
we look
somebody
at other
has
people
yeah,
channel. We ain't the kind that don't look at other people channel.
yeah, and
We look
you
at
know, if
other
somebody
people
has a
channel.
channel and we know, we try to call it out, say,
Yeah.
hey, so and so has a channel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
On
and Robert
Harvey
says it looks good on
Birdman.
Harvey. Yeah, Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. When Cartoon Network tried to bring it back, they
Mm-hmm.
did something similar to like what they did with Space Ghost, where they made Space Ghost
That's
coast
a
to
line
coast.
that I want to get into is
Space
the
Ghost.
Space Ghost
Mhm.
toy line, and they have a set that
I
came
think
out in the
Figures Toys Company did
2000s,
that.
yeah, and then they have like an earlier set. So I think I'm gonna end up getting the Figures Toy Company, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been looking at that.
Yes,
I never.
and they did like a Legends scale carded, and then they did the 8-inch
Mhm.
Mego style. Munin says Archangel is their favorite, one of their favorite X-Men characters. Well, Archangel makes more sense because the wings were mechanical. In at some point, Angel. Oh, Eric is here. Someone cuts his wings off, and then it was Apocalypse, right? Gave him new ones,
Mhm.
but they were mechanical ones. So then that's a different dynamic than, oh, I'm just gonna take these 20-foot wingspan wings, which is cool, just make them this big, and we're gonna put a belt on it, and no one will know it's under your shirt.
They had a show. It came out in the mid 2000s. I can't think of the name of it right now, but they were angels, like from heaven or something, and they came down to earth to like help humans, and they had wings, but they would put the wings down and it would disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they could mingle with humans, and then you wouldn't know unless they pull their wings
Well, at
out.
least there's some supernatural explanation there.
No, but because it didn't say where the wings went. They just kind of put them down, and then they just kind of like merged into their body. And then this one girl, she was a part of it. She was an angel, but she didn't want to be, so she ripped her wings out. So she extended them out and she put them on hooks, and then she pulled herself away from it, and it came out of her body. So she wouldn't be an angel no more.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird.
And that's kind of, they do the same thing. It's kind of like Highlander. Where the hell was he hiding a claymore? Or the new Wonder Woman, and she reaches behind her dress and pulls out a sword that's like 4 feet long. Does it? I mean, I know she's really strong, but I mean, is it between her butt crack, or where the hell does that go? How do you do that?
But all of these shows are like that. William didn't like Space Ghost talk show. I used to watch the talk show, No, I didn't get the Night Stalker because I forgot that you got to go on Mattel Creations to get it. So I was looking for it to come out like on Big Bad Toy Store or something. I didn't realize. I know. I think it was Wham said last week. Somebody said last week that you had to go on Mattel Creations, but I didn't think of it, so I forgot all about it. But yeah, that is something that I would like. But yeah, the Space Ghost figures I'm thinking of getting.
Hmm.
Sounds like Angel in the Outfit. No, it wasn't that. I can't think of the name of the show,
Yeah,
but it was
it wasn't that good.
you remember seeing it,
This show's
and it was like
stupid.
a post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
movie, and then the angels came down from heaven. They were like guardians or something, and they're supposed to be watching over people, but of
Uh-huh.
course they were fooling
Doing whatever.
around
Yeah.
and yeah, doing all kinds of things. I like the Highlander show.
I remember the Highlander show, and it had a spin-off
Oh, did it?
with that girl from the show. I forget the name of that one too. Like night something. I don't remember.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, what are you gonna do? I don't recall all of them. Munin says Highlander was enjoyable. They actually made an official trench coat for the show. They made figures recently too.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
lot of guest appearances. Roddy Piper was a guest on that show.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Roddy Piper was a guest. Did a guest
I
appearance
never
on that show.
seen Highlander. I've seen it like advertised to be on, but
Uh-huh.
I've never watched it, so I don't know nothing about it.
Robert didn't like the Space Ghost talk show.
Am I like the only person that like this talk stuff? But love Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Attorney at law. Yeah.
I'm gonna look for the Space Ghost cartoon and see if I can find it so I can watch it. David and LPH, y'all have
Hank
see
wants to know if we're going to see the new Beetlejuice
no,
movie.
not unless it come on one of
She's
those.
never seen the original one.
No, I've only ever watched the
The
cartoon.
cartoon.
I've only ever watched the cartoon. I
Which
used
kind
to.
of surprised me rewatching it. There were
Hmm.
some things I did, you don't think about when you're a kid, like
Yeah,
how often he's in drag on that show. And it's like, what are you doing? But
yeah, he was a
and then
lot.
of course he was her friend, but in the movie, total opposite. There was a different scenario going on with the characters. I have it. We should just watch the movie
Yeah,
sometime.
but the cartoon was for kids,
Of course.
so they had to make it kid
It's kind of like,
friendly.
and sometimes they make a cartoon out of something and you're like, why
How
did
did
you
y'all
do
get
that?
that?
But they made it work,
Yeah,
like Toxic Crusaders.
yeah,
Toxic Crusaders is hilarious.
that's a good show.
Toxic Avengers is hard to watch
Yeah.
because it's such a mess.
Yeah,
But
Beetlejuice, the cartoon was funny because I saw it when it was out on TV, so I watched it when it was out, and I always remembered it finally when we went back to watch it a few months back. I liked it still.
I always I always remembered that scene with Edgar Allan Poe.
He was only on there once.
Yeah, I always remember that though, because that was funny. He was like, "Do you know who I am? I am Poe." And he goes, "Well, I ain't got no money for you." Oh no.
He
Problem
did say some very silly things.
problem with
That was
that,
good.
William. Problem, he says the original Space Ghost cartoon is on YouTube.
Oh, is
Problem
it?
with that is when you find stuff like that, it's incomplete. Like we were trying to watch Transformers.
But that wasn't on YouTube.
Wherever the hell it is. There ain't 10 episodes a season. There was like 66 total episodes or something. They cut pieces out all over the place, so you never know if you got the whole thing.
Yeah, they did cut out a lot
Yeah.
of episodes.
And that Transformers show is so badly done.
It's not that.
It is bad.
It's not as bad as I thought. It actually has a plot. It's a continuous story.
But
it is inconsistent
it's
with the drawing.
very inconsistent
with the
drawing.
But you can get past
The
that.
artwork is bad. The things, I mean, people are suspended in the air. They're looking for people like they're not there and they're standing in the same room. Like, we have to find Bumblebee. Bumblebee's right there. He's on your left. They missed that. Some of the voice acting is not that great. Some of it's, you know, obviously like Peter Cullen is really
In
good.
the
Megatron
Megatron,
is good. Soundwave.
in
I
Starscream.
don't know about Starscream's voice, but
That's Cobra Commander's
I know it is,
voice.
but I don't like that either. But stuff like that, and some of the plots, like switching out Sparkplug's brain, and oh, if only we could remove his brain so we could do this surgery
No, it wasn't
or
Spark
whatever.
Plug. It was Spike.
Spike, yeah, Wiggy, Wiggy, or whatever the hell his name is. And it's like, oh, well, what a coincidence. We just happen to have this Frankenstein robot we can put his brain in. Like, oh my God. And the music is bad. I mean, it's just
not as bad as you're making it out to
hey,
be.
with the G.I. Joe, Sunbow had actual symphonic music. They worked
Yeah.
hard on that. With
Yeah.
Transformers, they did not try. The music is not good.
Robert liked when Space Ghost was a regular superhero like Batman.
Like Batman.
We're watching the Transformers right now. Again, it's not as bad as I thought. Is it a great cartoon? No. It's not great. But I was thinking it was going to be worse than it is. I remember watching it as a kid, but I don't remember it that well. Just like G.I. Joe. Only thing I remember from G.I. Joe was them shooting at each other. But then when we went back to watch it, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
And they're two-parters, or they're extended, like
Yeah,
two-parters or five-parters.
Five-parters are really
really
good.
well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transformers, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be way worse.
They didn't try as hard.
But it's not that bad.
Mhm.
It is a plot, because growing up, I don't remember a plot. You just, as a kid, you just see them transform and drive off or fly off, and that's it.
Or kind of transform.
Yeah.
Or the color fades away.
Yeah.
Or something happens, or somebody's got the wrong voice.
Yeah.
That's happened a few times already.
But the story is there. It is a plot. It is a continuous story. So
and
it's
James
not as
can't believe
bad.
you never saw Beetlejuice.
No, I never saw Beetlejuice. Growing up, we didn't go to the movies. Growing up, yeah, just like I said last week, I grew up in the middle of nowhere. There was no movie theaters around. You had to drive 60 miles to go to the movie theater. So we didn't go to the movie. Well, no, that's a lie. There was a drive-in theater, and we went to the drive-in theater once and saw Purple Rain. I went one time when Purple Rain was out, and we saw Purple Rain.
Okay.
But we didn't go to the movies often, so and we didn't have cable, so that wasn't happening. I never liked the cartoon based on regular people.
Robert says.
Like Rosie O'Donnell. Roseanne had a movie?
Rosie O'Donnell, Roseanne, Ed Grimley.
Oh,
Ed Grimley's not a real person. He's a character.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold and stuff like that. Although, or Bobby's World. I couldn't stand the voices on Bobby's World.
That was Howie Mandel.
But there is one based on one that you do like.
Who?
What's his name? You watched it last year. It was about when he was a child and he did the voices, including his dad.
Oh.
What's the name of that show?
I love that show. Oh God, I can't think. Andy. No, Andy was the daddy. Who was it? Oh, that guy. And he was the host.
Yeah.
On Family Feud.
John Candy had a show too, and it was pretty bad.
I can't think of the name.
What the heck is that guy's name? That's actually
Life with Louie.
Life with Louie. Louie Anderson.
Yeah, Life with Louie.
That was actually pretty funny.
See you, K Munin. Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping it up too.
Yes,
don't you have?
I do have the Mezco Space Ghost. It's actually a pretty decent one. And William liked Casey Kasem. Well, Casey Kasem did a lot of voice work.
Yeah,
he got
did.
Around.
If you make Masters of the Universe, I hope they use the voice
from Optimus Prime. If Cullen can still do it, he's starting to get away from doing the voice acting because he's having a hard time.
Yeah, because we saw the Transformers trilogy that came out, and he did the voice, and you could tell some of the
If he
parts
had to be loud,
he didn't do.
someone
Somebody else
else.
stepped in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, but yeah,
But with that, as was already pointed out, we're going to go ahead and start signing off because it got late. So we can go eat
yeah.
and do whatever we do. Remember, if you are around tomorrow afternoon, you can catch us at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Nostalgic Pod Blasts
Mhm.
channel.
Mhm.
So we will be joining him on his channel tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Yes.
So you can find us there. So thanks everybody for joining us this evening. Hope you had a good time. And maybe we will do this again sometime soon.